3, 2, 1.
I guess we're going to need to talk, right? Otherwise we can't.
Oh, yeah, we can. Well, I mean, the stream is on a 30-second delay. Do you add a delay to yours at all?
Oh, probably not, no.
Um,
It doesn't, I mean, it's up to you, it doesn't matter.
all right, we're up. So, hello, everyone. Let's just, we're going to wait a second here and let people file in. We had no specific plan for this one, or at least it wasn't one that I was made aware of.
We bullied him into it. Is what you're saying.
Having a beverage and watching Captain... I'll just tease watching our favorite Marvel movie.
Excuse me?
Except Jack.
Wait, I thought you just said Infinity War was yours.
Yeah, come on. What's going on here?
Where do you... Jack, you don't rate Civil War up there, do you?
Oh, yeah, I do. No, I definitely like it. It's probably like it's definitely top 10. But, I mean, I like Infinity War more. I probably like Homecoming more. Ragnarok. And Winter Soldier, obviously. But it's pretty high up there.
Somehow, because I'm having to use monitor captures for OBS, I'm out of screen real estate on a 49-inch monitor. There we go. And tweet. There we go. Hey, Jen. Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Greetings, friends.
We are having a beverage. It's Saturday morning, almost 4 in the morning for Cal. Jack, what time is it in Aussie land?
It is currently 1:21 p.m. on the Australian East Coast. Booyah.
And I have no idea what time it is in the States. Who cares? So, it's been a little while since we've done these, and mostly because of my ridiculous work schedule. But the three of us enjoy hanging out and talking about stuff. And we just decided, why not hang out with you guys as well? And
why not?
fire up the stream. So, obviously, we can't broadcast into the stream what it is we're going to watch, so there is no... I have the sound turned off, the color is screwed up, and my big fat head is going to be covering the picture the entire time, but that's just how we do it. The idea is, if you want, you can grab your own copy of Captain America Civil War and follow along with us, if you want to. Jen says, have you guys figured out when Jack is coming to town? I haven't asked you for an update on that in a little bit.
I'm still working on the passport. I've had a couple of hiccups, but I don't have an ETA on that. But hopefully this year. We're aiming for this year sometime.
He clearly doesn't want to come.
Yeah. I'm just avoiding it because I'm scared you're going to lock me in a basement and not let me leave.
Yeah, who would want to get out of Australia in the summertime? That sounds like a nightmare.
Oh yeah, I would love. Oh, the Australian summer's so brutal. Oh god.
I was gonna switch it over so that I could actually see the room count, but I can't do that. Yeah, so it's a 49-inch display, and obviously I want to be able to watch the movie, but I really don't know how to use OBS that well. So right now we have things sort of cropped off, and I had to put up the green screen. But I think things look okay. What do you guys think of the setup?
I mean, once we see the film, I could probably give a solid thing, but it looks good.
Here, I'll pop you. Oh, we'll pop into the middle here and see you in 30 seconds. Hey.
Excellent.
My head's bigger than Chris Evans. Take that, Chris Evans.
Monique, I'm sorry, Monique, and I'm sorry, Jen. I'm trying. I'd be more worried about Jess than Ian. That is too real. That is too real.
By the way, Monique says Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Monique.
Happy
Saturday afternoon. Saturday for me.
Not in the proper country.
You created your country.
Oh, them Spartan words.
Yeah, actually. Oh, I didn't realize. I darkened the screen up so much that Chris Evans' beautiful face was hidden behind my head. I just moved over to the side there so you can take a look. All right, so I'm going to rewind back to the start. And you guys want to queue up yours?
Yep, I'm ready to go.
Done and done.
It'd be more. We have 21 people watching. Hi, Brian. Welcome, everyone. This is like we've said, the Mediocre Decisions live streams are extremely informal and really just more because the three of us enjoy hanging out and talking about stuff.
Milk Dada says, will it be an analysis, a riff, or a combination of the two? Probably a combination, I'd say.
Is there a drinking game to go with this one? I don't know, guys. Jack, did you get your shots?
No, but I will. Hang on, BRB.
All right. So Cal.
How can we do it so that we do drinks for us and shots for him? That seems weird.
Well, we could do. You and I could do Whoa Nellies for every one of his shots. You know what a Whoa Nelly? A Whoa Nelly is like when you drink and you go Whoa Nelly. So it's like a really big drink, a Whoa Nelly.
So you can say it's just like a big drink.
That's what I said. It's a Whoa Nelly.
So why call it a Whoa Nelly? Why can't you just call it a big drink?
Because Whoa Nelly sounds awesome. Is it a shindig or is it a hootenanny? Mellow songs
reference.
Exactly. Mellow song styling. Okay, so
from over there, I was like, Brain, you better get it.
Oh, that was you were telling your mouth was telling your brain that was an Oz reference. I get that now.
And I'm back.
Brain was searching through the files like, I know it's season
Wait, what is he saying? He's saying words that I know. Chock full of hoot, just a little bit of nanny.
A little bit of nanny. I'm gonna be chugging straight.
No, you're not chugging, Jack.
Well, I mean, dude, I'm Australian. What do you expect?
Captain America Civil War rules.
Hey, Boris, what's up, man?
All right, so what do we want? 3 rules? 4 rules? It's 2.5-hour movie, so we don't need 5.
We just have 1.
They're disagreements.
Oh yeah, okay.
Man, that's gonna kill me.
Hold on. I need to let them in on this as well. So I need to add another display capture, which is going to be the 3rd one of the bunch. Everyone's going to get very confused for a minute. I'm very sorry.
We should do a drink every fun fact, so I'm going to have loads of fun facts about this film.
Keep in mind, I've only got half a bottle here, so...
Well then, go slowly.
But if we're doing rules, I'm probably gonna be wasted in the first half an hour.
Well, you don't have to do... What I'm saying is you don't have to do a shot every rule, is all I'm saying.
But again, I'm Australian. I can't help it.
That's
You that, you'd say Australian.
That's like Jess and my excuses for drinking. But it's Flag Day.
You guys don't... Wait, I won't say that.
Okay, so my computer apparently doesn't like me changing the font in WordPad, and making the size larger doesn't work. So we're gonna give me 1 sec, everyone. I'm not looking at chat. CW rules, disagreements.
If that's a serious one, then how do we... Is, like, one big conversation between those characters, or is it one for each person that disagrees? It's like, oh god, this is gonna go confusing.
And
every explosion, maybe.
I just lost the window again. I need more 49-inch monitors. There we go. Okay, well, let's say disagreements between characters other than Tony and Cap.
Okay.
Sure.
Now hold on.
How many times that happens?
I have a it happens a lot. I have a modifier here though. Disagreements between characters other than Jack, are there any rules in chat they're throwing out there?
Let's see.
You should do every time Iron Man is narcissistic and every time Captain America is righteous.
Drink for sexual tension, double if it's Cap and Bucky. I love that.
All right, that's it. Sexual tension is in there, and what'd you say, Cal?
Every time Cap is righteous.
So
that's the entire film, my dude.
We'll say Cap or Iron Man prototype. What the hell is that called? The like the warrior.
Signature.
The well, no. Cap is a paragon, and Tony is not a pragmatist. I forgot what the philosophical derivation was for his character, but they sort of represent those two. That's why I can't wait to review this movie.
A shot or down your drink when the villain recites that date.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He does that, like, I want to say 4
There's
or
like
5 times.
yeah. I'm gonna go. We're gonna go proto Cap / proto Tony.
So, like, when they do a thing that's just so entirely to do with their characters.
Yeah. When they're sort of like completely grounded and inflexible in their own characters. And God, this show is so high quality. It's WordPad. I think that's career font.
I use WordPad all the time.
You are welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hanging out. Maybe we should plan these a little bit more purposefully. Captain America CW rules. And we'll go ahead and do that. And Scoochie Boochie. There we go. December 1991. And I'm going to put the rules behind my head. Whoa. I need my email not to be popping up over stuff. Let's... How do I actually...
Paragon and Renegade, someone says. Dog Lover 427. Is that what it is?
Is that what it is?
I think that's correct, yeah.
I only know that from Mass Effect.
Also, it's funny because that already shows the difference between how we're going to review it, because I didn't even remotely have intentions of mentioning that whatsoever, but...
Well, that's the joy of it.
I forget.
Cap's a paragon.
Okay, he's like the lawful good.
Right, but it's a little more complicated than that too, because like you've got the fascism versus communism extremes of their perspectives as well, where
right, yeah. I just like relating stuff to D&D. That's all.
I saw a great interview with Joss where he talked about how one of the challenges of the superhero genre is the decay, like the endorsement of fascism. I mean, essentially, the strong and single powerful individual, and how that is what Buffy season 7 is partially an attempt to remedy. Is she distributes and shares her power with everyone else.
Do you know, me and Jack were talking about if us three were the ones who were told to write a theoretical Buffy continuation series. And like one of the first things I said to him, I was like, maybe we should set it in the 90s and run it alongside, because goddamn, to actually account for all of the Slayers that are across the entire world is going to be very fucking difficult.
Yeah.
Autumn wants to do a podcast where she and I talk about the reboot, and she's got some great points that she threw out that I was like, oh yeah. The thing that makes Buffy is not not to steal Autumn's thunder. Autumn, if you're here, I apologize. The thing that makes Buffy is not the lore. It's her story. It's her development. It's her experiences. So, sort of without that, a reboot, just as an idea, is sort of meaningless. Like a reboot, like a continuation with a completely new Slayer.
Right.
Makes Buffy as in the show, or the character?
Well, the relationships, the characters, the specific events of her story, the body, the gift, all of those things are what make the show remarkable. It's not like the lore is interesting and very unique and sort of
the lore isn't that important, but
right, exactly.
Why do it again when it already exists? I suppose would be my question.
Well, I mean, but
that's what they're doing.
From another standpoint, there have been successful quality reboots. Battlestar was a wonderful show until the last season. Well, arguably, but they're like, yeah, I felt your silence on that one, Cal.
Well,
I felt it in my bones.
I was like, there's got to be someone who disagrees with you. That's probably.
It was that Welsh rumble in your throat that hadn't actually
I've
begun
never
yet
seen this, though.
vibrated my bones over
Oh
here.
my God.
I've never seen it.
You guys, this is a milestone. Ian finally called you Welsh instead of British.
Oh.
Yeah, it only took 6 live streams. Nailed it.
In fairness to Ian, I don't call him, by his state. I call him by America. So.
Coloradian? Is that what?
Yeah,
you
there's
said?
there's no Colorado accent. The what's interesting is when I moved to Illinois, I was born in Illinois, lived in Colorado, moved back to Illinois, and everyone in Illinois thought I had an accent, and even this was in junior high school, and some of them thought I was English, and I think it's because I enunciate, which
Yeah.
isn't a Chicago traditional. I can't even do a Chicago accent. Isn't a traditional thing. Anyway, that sounds incredibly pompous, but so
Your accent
there it is.
sounds sort of American posh in a way. Like the way you say room, you say rum or something like that.
Hail the Welsh. I thought it was going to be a Buffy reboot with a different Slayer. Casey Lynn, I love how we signed in to watch Captain America and we're already talking about Buffy. They said there was going to be a reboot with an African American Buffy, which annoyed a bunch of people, and there were people up in arms, and there were people who were like, I don't know, reboots suck. Like there were many sides of the outrage, I guess. I use big air quotes on that one. And then the showrunner, who has been tasked with writing it, came out and said there is only one Buffy, and suggested that it would be a continuation of the universe and not like them redoing Welcome to the Hellmouth and all of that. So, but that's just what she said on her Twitter. Nobody knows exactly what's going on yet.
I look at it as like there's a billion paths and about 0.03% of them are good paths, and we're just waiting for which one she chooses.
Yeah.
It's just such a complex, layered fiction. I mean, like Battlestar was maybe not a great example because it was, from that era of science fiction serials that were just sort of Buck Rogers kind of thing, and then Star Wars kind of reinvented that and changed it, and then Battlestar went the dark route. But Buffy is all the things already. Like, it's not a uncomplicated fiction to reboot.
Not to be like all hipstery and stuff, but I don't know. I just feel like Buffy's lightning in a bottle. All of the elements being, even the bad stuff about Buffy makes Buffy Buffy, and it's just you're not gonna be able to do it again. Don't try.
Yeah, exactly.
But
lightning in a bottle kind of thing.
Blue Stockings, Sarah highlights a lot of stuff coming out leads more to the Next Generation type thing than a Battlestar type thing, and that's true. Next Generation was a sequel reboot. Battlestar was a reboot. So
We shall see is all we can really say.
yeah, it's a bit of a dark hole with TNG and Battlestar. They were continuation
If you
reboots
had,
of the show.
An expectation of quality, what would the number be from 0 to 100?
Oh, I have no expectations. Like, I mean, there's what like I said,
as unreasonable as you want.
No,
or
like I said on
personal thing.
like I said on Twitter, there's what I hope it will be, and there's, if I sort of engage the intellectualizer, there's the odds of what I think it will be. And I hope it'll be great. And that's more fun for me to spend the next 2 years, or however long it is, until the trailer drops, focusing on.
I'm just massively pessimistic.
Yeah, no, I know.
Well,
That's.
yeah. I think we all hope it's going to be great, but it's probably not going to be. Well, that's just my opinion anyway.
But there is a long list of, like, Boris just mentioned the Ghostbusters movie. I didn't see the new Ocean's 11 movie. I mean, there's a long list of. It seems like movies are almost more willing to do the terrible. Total Recall was garbage. RoboCop was terrible.
Terminator.
Genesis. Oh, let's not talk about that.
Alien films.
I swear to God, if they make a Back to the Future remake, I'm gonna be so pissed. I'm gonna be so.
Well, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
I want to do it. Like, I want to do a video on it at some point, because there's a lot of stuff that, like, Casablanca, or no, it was the Maltese Falcon, I think it was the third time they'd made that movie. when they made the Humphrey Bogart movie. And I mean, that's how old reboots are. Like we think every
When people say
generation.
to tell you what a good reboot is, people mention The Thing from 1982.
Yeah, and then there was John Carpenter redid his own movie, didn't he? There was he did it
There's
twice.
been 3 of them.
I was just saying that reboots are old technically, or remakes. But there's way more bad ones than good ones.
By the way, I wanted to highlight Will Lala says I'm 12 and you've gotten me into Buffy. Don't watch season 6, Will, for another couple of years.
Gosh, yeah. Well, yeah, you say that.
Or stop
When-
before Smashed.
It aired in 2002, right?
Yeah, but anyway, welcome, Will. That makes me happy.
2003, I think. Because it ended in
2003 is when Angel ended, so
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, no, don't listen.
which puts Buffy season 6 to 2001. Is that right?
Something like that, yeah. No,
I'm
2000.
trying to figure.
You said 2006 is when Angel ended. Then it was Buffy season 6.
2003.
Then it was 2002 was or 2001 was Buffy season 6.
That was my guess. Yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah,
puts
sorry.
me that puts me at age 8 when I saw it.
But I think that depends on the individual, because 12-year-old
Oh,
me
totally.
was fine. Like,
Uh,
I mean, I've been watching horror movies since I was 5, so I mean,
Casey Lynn says, "Can we all just admit that we'll still watch it for at least a
Yes.
season and a half until we really decide whether or not it's worth it?" Oh yeah, absolutely.
Totally watch every last
Definitely.
episode they put out. Just out of spite.
Begrudgingly, World
They're
Mediocre
like, we're gonna
live
do-
stream number 12.
Dude,
we're actually thinking about streaming the trailer when it comes out.
oh, definitely. When they have an episode where like a vampire crashed into town, and there's like platinum blonde hair slicked back, I'm just gonna be like,
Oh, if they do
Yeah.
that, I will punch whatever screen I'm looking at. Like, oh.
And you know what?
I
it is?
mean-
They'll be like, fans are gonna love it. And you'll be like, no.
There's another argument too, which is that, and again I'm stealing from Autumn. Autumn, I apologize. Is that, well, we'll do the concise version of this conversation in a different stream, but that is that, you know, we've had our Buffy, and if they go ahead and remake it and do all the same things again, but for a different generation and another group, like, that doesn't mean it's going to be bad. Like, none of this conversation, nothing we've said so far, determines whether or not it's going to be good or bad. If they had an African American Buffy and all the same stories, or if it's a continuation of the universe, like, there are the odds, certainly, but no one knows if it's going to be good or bad until it comes out, right?
My
Yeah,
only
I mean, we go into
argument-
this conversation assuming that.
Right.
My only argument against that, though, is that Buffy is still good and it's still relatable. I don't think the current generation needs a new Buffy, because you can just watch the original. Like, it's still relevant, I think.
Well, it's I think it's relevant and it's dated. There are, and I'm not talking special effects, which are the self-evident ones, the Snake Mayor and so forth, but like,
It's more the idiots
although
and whatnot.
someone tweeted that I loved, like, Buffy isn't Buffy without a giant, horrible CG snake monster, and I was like, yeah, I kind of agree. But, you know, we've been talking about as a feminist show for its time, which some people care about, some people don't. It's dated. Some of that doesn't hold up anymore. Whatever you think of Xander's character, or the on-the-nose feminism,
Well,
or certain
You
things.
know how Anita Sarkeesian defended, like, don't reboot Buffy? I don't understand how she could watch Buffy and be okay with it.
You mean,
Someone like Anita
well, and
because
yeah.
I feel like she would have a problem with a lot of stuff in Buffy.
That's a strange
I mean, that's the nostalgia button. I think that the nostalgia. We well, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I have nostalgia goggles for it, but
Well, do you
I forgive
remember,
it. It's
to bring it back
trespasses.
to Game of Thrones. Do you remember the outroll when season 6, I think, or season 5, when Jaime comes back and Cersei doesn't want to do anything with him, and then like in Joffrey's room where he's dead,
Oh yeah, he rapes her at the foot of Joffrey's
Yeah.
deathbed.
the internet was
Oh,
very fucking
yeah.
unhappy about that. Now, if you, the reason I say that is, you know, seeing red, how do you think that would do these days?
Apparently,
Yeah.
I'm really low on the stream. People can't hear me. I wonder if I can turn my mic off.
You're a little softer in my headset than Cal
Oh,
is.
We're on Discord.
Can you
so
change his volume?
No, I
I
can't.
can just.
Oh,
I'll
can
just
I?
fix it on Discord.
Yeah, we should.
Oh,
all
I
be
can.
able
I
to
can. I'm
control-
gonna up his Jack talk.
Hello, 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 hello.
All right.
Testing, testing.
I bumped your audio a little bit there.
All right.
Well, I get what you're talking about. My issue with seeing red is that I don't have the same problem with it that a lot of other people do. And we've talked about
Oh,
that.
dude, we could talk about that for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've talked about that before. I don't think it's a betrayal of Spike's character. I think that it was grounded and foreshadowed long before that, all the way back to Becoming Part 2.
Sorry.
All the way back to Eve. Actually, I watched that episode today. That episode, Billy, that episode's terrifying. Hey, do we want to segue off Buffy and watch Captain America?
I was gonna say we could cut it and be like, guys, swap it over to the MCU.
Yeah. The three of us could talk about Buffy all day long, all day strong.
Also,
So to clarify, oh, go ahead.
can everybody in chat hear me now?
Yeah,
Us all.
you both sound the same to me, but go ahead and... Jack, maybe play with your mic placement a little bit, too. Bring it a little closer to your face.
It's pretty much right.
That sounds louder to me, whatever you just did.
Oh really? I just moved it like an inch closer. No, not even an inch.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Okay.
New drinking rule: drink whenever the conversation turns to Buffy. You know what? I like that. We're adding that. We now have a number 4 rule, boys.
Oh God, yeah, drink if ever Buffy's mentioned. That'd be
Buffy's
great.
back on the menu. Well, that sounds wrong when I say that.
Apparently, I'm.
I was gonna make a Lord of the Rings reference, and then I was like, wait, no, that's
My
that's
mind
the-
went to Lord of the Rings first. You're right.
good deal.
So am I good?
We got some thumbs up, yeah.
Alright, cool.
Joy says, "Ooh, that's much better." Ray Thulu says, "Time for me to start drinking." Cheers, Ray. We'll be joining you in just 1 second.
Yeah. I've got my straight vodka here.
So disagreements when any characters other than Tony and Cap disagree, then does sexual tension literally just mean when we think someone's hot?
So that means sexual tension for the
between
characters
characters.
or us.
Oh, okay. Right.
I love that comment, especially when it's Cap and Bucky.
And then
That
Cap
made
being
my
Cap
day.
and Tony being Tony, and then Buffy segues. That sounds perfect.
No
Oh,
drinks
we got another one?
within 30 seconds of another.
Brian says
all right,
better. Could still be louder though. Maybe bump me up just a tiny bit more.
Well, the problem is you sound normal in my ear. Just
Okay, yeah.
just make sure you keep your mic close to your face.
Yeah. Okay.
No, Cal said every time we're attracted to a character, I'm going to be chugging the entire time we're watching this thing. But here we
I'm
go.
ready for this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
All right. So I'm going to hit play in 3, 2, 1, play.
May I suggest a sort of smashing the glass against the ship, sort of a drink to start?
Oh, yeah. Cheers, everyone.
All right.
Happy Friday. We're so
I'll
glad
take a
you've joined
swig.
us. Cheers, gentlemen.
Ooh,
Cheers.
Wonderful. Strong as well. I've made mine strong.
Oh,
So-
straight vodka is not good.
I already want to talk about how because I know too much about this film, but the whole thing with these flashbacks with the Winter Soldier was all supposed to be misdirection about what the plot was going to be. And I don't know about you two, but when I saw this in the cinema, I was expecting Iron Man, Captain America, and Bucky to all fight the Winter Soldier army at the end and beat them. And then it's over.
You know what? It did a good job for me of not. Well, actually, my audio for the movie is a little too loud. I had no expectations. Like, by the end of the movie, I was so turned around as to what was going on. Especially, I did not get the car segments. Like, I didn't know.
I was
not at all.
I'm like a hawk. I was like, what does it mean? The reason they're showing me this.
I mean, I
What
knew
happened
you.
to make you think it was just tied to the fact that Winter Soldier people are going to be waking up and attacking. So I was waiting for that moment, and then they're all shot through the head. And I remember being in the cinema and being like, "What?"
I've
the
got
bad guys.
no audio. I wonder if it's because of Discord. How do I fix that?
Well, you got no audio for yourself.
Are you using VLC? Are you using VLC?
No, I'm using. Okay, yeah, I'll
That's your
switch
first
to
problem.
VLC.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Whoops. All right, I'm closing it.
Should we pause for him?
Yeah, please do.
All right, I'm gonna pause in 3, 2, 1. Pause. We're pausing, everyone. Everyone, we're
Well,
paused.
Just what time are you at?
I'm at 142.
All right, we'll just tell Jack to go to 142.
I appreciate it, Will. Thank you. Only watching from YouTube or a streaming site. I know because I'm streaming Pandian. I've got a local version I'm watching.
Open with VLC media player.
Oh, my Giles icon. Yeah, we launched. So for everyone in here who might not know or didn't see the note, we did launch a Passion of the Nerd Discord server. Oh,
Yeah.
we were gonna do. Normally we drink for donations, but
What's the timestamp again, guys?
we're at 142.
142. Okie dokie.
Are these two about to have a disagreement? I don't know if it counts. He's
Uh,
being brainwashed. He's clearly not agreeing with
yeah,
it.
he's not really disagreeing with him though either. He's like
You got me.
may have just wet himself. That's all that's going on.
Almost there. Just a sec.
Gosh, Jack, you had all the
Alright.
time to prepare.
All right. Oh, fuck. Hang on. Sorry, I swore. Whoops, I fucked it up. I mean, stop swearing. This the family show.
Yeah, Jack, it's family show. We've
All right,
got
I got
youngins on.
All right, I got it. Let's do it.
All right,
There's
I'm
this sexual tension on screen.
I'm unpausing in 3, 2, 1, play.
Got it. What is
Will
this made up language?
Will Lala says I want Jack as my watcher.
I'll be your watch. No, that sounds creepy. I'm a nice man.
That also sounds creepy.
Oh God, I can't win.
I'm gonna be watching this movie and thinking about the criticisms to try and counter them instead of like celebrating the good bits.
Yeah,
So,
you're.
Oh,
I mean,
Of course you are. Of course
Well,
you are.
it's because everybody, I know all the ones that come out. There's ones I want to highlight. They'll just be funny to you guys, but like people said, there's no reason why Steve would go to the lengths he goes to defend Bucky, and I'm just
Hail
like, I'll kill
Hydra,
myself.
indeed, Raven. Hail Hydra.
if you guys needed me to, I would go to those lengths to defend you both.
It's you don't even, Captain America 1 and 2 are like all about him and
It's
Bucky.
they're love stories about Bucky and Cap.
So
That's the romance.
So
You know-
I watched First Avenger yesterday, and I enjoy it, but there's no wow factor to it. You know, there's nothing great about it, but it's still a good film.
Oh,
I
Joy
don't
Joy
know
says he
much
said
about
Buffy. Is that a drink? Yes, one of us said Buffy drink.
Oh, shit.
Oh God! All right.
We do when?
I don't know, but I trust the audience. You don't trust
Fair
my
enough.
audience?
I
Is
take
that what
what
you're
you
trying to say?
Oh, I hate straight vodka so much. What am I doing? Why am I doing this?
Feels like I'm drinking straight Jack with the amount of Coke I didn't put in.
There's
What? Oh,
mine's just watered down
I get it, yeah,
Canadian
Jack
Mist
Daniels
now.
Jack. Wait.
I was trying to be funny, but
There's
I'm
a
not
YouTube
funny.
channel that pointed out that the symbol on the curtains that Captain America's next to, if it shows the zoom up again, is like the symbol for Boy Scouts or something.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's something that I was just
Man.
like, fucking hell, really?
Elizabeth Olsen is a very attractive woman.
Well,
My
that's
God.
a drink.
Yeah, drink.
I'm making another one.
I probably wasn't
without
within
a
30
doubt.
seconds, actually. Oh, wait, it was. I don't know, actually.
You say that after I drink? Thanks.
I already drank 2. Fine. Fine. Yeah, I
was-
was you guys, but I was a little bit underwhelmed by Captain America's bonus shields in Infinity War. I want to get him his big.
Oh,
bonus
like
shield
the
back.
the wrist shields? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
I'll bet it'll be back in the next one.
Probably.
Oh boy, I did not bring enough mixers.
Who needs them?
Hey, at least you have mixes. God damn it.
Might be Jack. Water is a mixer when it comes to vodka.
Oh, vodka and water. That's disgusting. No
so
way.
is straight vodka.
I
Well,
was gonna say,
you
that
have
does
a
count
good,
as a mixer. It does, dilute it.
you have a very. Oh wait, I've got cordial or Kool-Aid, as you Yanks say.
There you go.
That
Yeah,
could work.
go get some Kool-Aid. As long as you're not just pouring the powder into the vodka.
Oh,
I was
it's
gonna
not
say, by the
powder.
way,
It's liquid.
As
Oh no, that's not going to work. It's liquid.
an appreciation for Cap in this movie, like there is the obvious line from Iron Man that makes you just like melt when you watch it in terms of tragicness. In the last scene, I sort of get a bit of that when when Cap says, "I can do this all day," because you do get the whole like, "Oh
Yeah,
man."
he said that in every movie.
It's great as well because he says it to bullies.
I love the
It's like,
and he says it to
bully.
Thanos. Oh,
Pandian says, how smashed do you think we're all gonna be by the end of this? Well, I have had 3 swigs and I'm already feeling it.
And it's easy as well because I only have to say the word Buffy, and then we end up having to drink it.
You
Oh, god damn it, you son of a bitch.
Or wait,
Oh,
no,
it's
he
gorgeous.
doesn't say it to Thanos, but I did see that in a meme someplace, and I was like, oh, it was when he's holding the Thanos' hand,
Oh,
or
yeah, no,
holding the gauntlet.
but
That's the I can do this all day moment.
I don't even know if they need to have him say it again. I feel like it was almost an arc in the way he was saying it. It was like the first time it was people beating him up. Second time was it to Bucky? I can't remember. He does say it in
In
the second
2,
movie.
I think he does say it in 2, yeah.
But I don't know. I found it really poignant when he says it to Iron Man because it's not even something Iron Man is aware
I think he
of.
does say it to Bucky on the carrier.
It just means a lot when he says it because of what it means.
I like too how his outfit changes based on sort of the morality.
He tears the A off in this film, doesn't he?
When his morality is sort of tainted in the second one, he's a spy. It's all darkened up and dirtied, and when he makes the decision to attack Shield, he goes and gets his original outfit, which was the bright, super colorful version of it. I just love that detail of how the color or shade of it reflects his character.
How films can get like big blatant pieces wrong that screw things up, but then they also get all these tiny things right. It's just like, because I've noticed this with criticizing films. You know when people say like that's a nitpick? Do you ever hear the reverse where you point out something really small that doesn't matter? Do you ever hear people say like, "Oh, stop nice picking"? That never happened.
I think you've just described the kind of reviewer that I am, Cal. I'm a nice picker.
I mean,
I'm a chronic nice picker.
It's coming in my new script. So I call them neat picks.
Neat picks.
Because I point a bunch out about The Force Awakens, and then I'm like, by the way, this is kind of like, you should be complaining about this if you complain about nitpicks.
I just love I know there's a lot of cuts, but I love watching her kick guys in the face.
This is my favorite one, but this is a part I'm not a huge fan of. She shouldn't be doing this well, and she's got no armor.
I still prefer Elizabeth Olsen, but I'm going purely aesthetics here.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. I really like Black Widow. I really like Scarlett Johansson, but how the hell did she just do so well against all of them? It was a bit.
Well,
I don't care. I like it. I'm gonna neat pick the crap out of that scene.
I don't have a problem because she's a badass. She's a spy. She's an assassin, right? Like she knows how to fight. So
And using that guy as a shield.
Who has a fucking armor piece on it should probably hurt you more than them.
This is amazing. This is amazing. I love this. I remember being in the theater in this section when he falls out right here.
Oh wow!
It's so violent. Brutal. Everyone went, oh.
Wow.
Yeah, it looked completely real. I wonder if that's CGI or if it's an actual stunt, dude.
It looked real to me.
It's a real stunt on a green screen in boxes composited onto the actual shot itself. So that's a real guy falling.
It was probably on like a wire, obviously, and they had like they probably had that foamy stuff too. That looks like.
That's so the Russos got praised for their action scenes, and they're not even people who do like one-shot stuff.
No, there's a lot of cuts. They
do a lot of cuts, but people really like their action. I would agree. I really like their action as well.
There's something about the gravity of it. Like everything feels meaty and powerful.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't feel animated. There's no ragdoll physics. It's like everything has weight and.
Talk about nitpicks. Clearly, there's no one behind Cap in this coming shot there, and then suddenly, he's right behind him.
I can live with that.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I
think that's more. No, that's just more of an action cliche. So you've got the what?
I'm not going to call it a mistake, or an error. They would have to look at it and go, yeah, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, well, it's a continuity.
You can call it lazy if you want.
Pandian says, what are ragdoll physics? Ragdoll physics is a term that comes from video games where...
it's like there's no bones or muscle.
Yeah, like
go floppy.
Previously in like the Half-Life era, when a character would die, their body would just sort of collapse, or if a bomb blew up, like they would lose all rigidity. It was like they had bones but no muscle. Yeah.
This is the shit that I can accept with her. It's just like one-on-one combat fight. But when she's dealing with people who have full sets of armor, I find it a little bit harder to believe. I can believe she does all this.
But she's still a badass.
I
I
still
want a Black Widow movie, and
I want a Black Widow movie so much. Yeah, I want a Black Widow movie.
No, but like for the most part, she's sort of treated as a side character, which sucks.
Exactly, that's why she needs a movie.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah.
The
Cap
reason I said was because I was sipping at the time.
So, that's like cookies.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I want to take a drink again. So
I'll drink.
She's attractive.
Sexual tension.
Yeah, I'll drink to that, but still, Elizabeth Olsen, my God.
I made
we're still
a.
hopping on it, but like I like this fight a lot as well. When Cap takes off one of the arms, he looks badass as fuck. In terms of just like, yep, that's one down.
That dude reminds me of Deadshot.
Pandian caught it. I made a Buffy reference. I'll drink for that.
Oh, there you go.
I just sipped. I'm not sipping again.
But he's just like, yeah, fuck that shit.
Fashnik. Like cookies.
Wait, surely we have to drink for that one now as well.
No, there's a 30-second rule, gents. That means you don't have to drink within 30 seconds of a previous drink.
Was 30 seconds.
Not for me.
Very well.
I'm just not doing
this
it.
is. You could definitely say this is Proto Cap. He pauses because he's talking about Bucky.
Oh God. No, 30 seconds. I'm not doing it.
I'm doing it. It's Proto Cap. First time.
I was there. You got a weepy about it.
The thing is, the one thing is, again, I'm just being overly critical because I love this film, but he could have blown it either way. It's not like he needed to delay him, because what is he even doing other than just pulling out two things and hit the button?
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I mean, like, we're watching a comic book movie. There are CinemaSins levels criticisms of this one. And
I still think this movie holds up like crazy.
But what you just complained about is monologuing. You just complained about monologuing, and we're watching a comic book movie. You're not complaining. I mean, you're highlighting it. We're having a discussion, and you're highlighting the a nitpick.
No,
that's what he was doing.
Like, Cap references that as why he got to blow it up. I'm saying he could have just blown it up even if he didn't have the monologue, because it's only a matter of going boom. You know, like the scene was trying to tell us that he was distracted by him mentioning Bucky, and that's what enabled him to access his little blow up thing. And I was just like, it looks like he could have done it anyway.
Yeah, it looks like that's fair. No, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so your complaint was not monologuing. This is their Marvel's de-aging stuff, like especially the stuff they've been doing in Ant-Man, is stunning.
Well, I happen to think this is like one of the best instances. I can't get.
It's amazing.
Yeah, this is really good. I was also, when I was watching First Avenger, you know, like before he becomes Cap, he's all skinny and stuff. Like, it looks weird, but at the same time, I can't help but think maybe it's because I know Chris Evans is not this tiny, skinny guy.
Honestly, I don't know how they did as well as they did with what they did.
like. And so I think maybe if you didn't know and you saw it, you would just think you wouldn't think anything of it. You know.
One complaint I've seen about this movie is that this is the emotional hook for the ending that they're setting up right here.
Sequence.
I love this sequence. I love this movie. I love the ending.
It's like showing off technology for memory access.
Well, well, I mean, which is.
I'm okay with it.
It's not necessary, but he has to have some kind of intro into the story, and since he and Cap are the most important players, I'm fine with it. But Tony has a father arc through the whole MCU. You pointed it out in your Infinity War review. He has father issues, and that's the devastating aspect of Infinity War, which we won't spoil anything of in this.
Do that.
But it's so good. I just love.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if there was an element of like this scene is a little bit forced, I'd be like, yeah, but it's so fucking good.
They even made him look exactly the way he did 20 years ago. It's amazing.
Yeah, his
Like, this is the one memory we would need to see to make the rest of this film work so well, and it's like, oh, it just happens to be the memory.
Yeah, I
Robert
mean,
this character's looking at right now.
it's convenient, but it is very grounded in Tony's character previously.
This
It's
doesn't
not out of
argue me
nowhere.
This is a memory that would pop up because he's probably got it on his mind like all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is something he's not dealing with well.
Iron Man 2, like his relationship with his father was a linchpin to the story. Iron Man 1, Jonah was the stand-in father figure, which was a linchpin to their relationship was kind of a linchpin to that. I don't know. Obadiah, not Jeremiah, yeah. Obadiah was sort of the stand-in father figure for Tony in that one. Like, his arc has been all about fathers, and so I love the intro here.
I saw a thread talking about the other day. It's like Tony Stark might be one of the longest running and most complicated yet nailed like character arcs in movie history.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
There's so much going on with him across all of the movies. And you know, you can't. It's not a criticism of other films. This is unprecedented. Like, not many films get this much of a chance to actually develop a character. See, that's another angle to him throughout all of his movies. His constant battle with Pepper Potts and the relationship to maintain it.
He's definitely the most fleshed out of the characters, I think.
And I like, though all of those range in sort of varying levels of success in their execution. Like, I don't think Iron Man 1 is particularly great, but then I'm also an Iron Man 3 fan, which is a rarity.
You do like the complete opposites on those two sets.
Yeah.
I like it because it humanized him, I think.
Well, I love the PTSD aspect of it.
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
Excellent idea, poorly executed.
Yeah,
it
that's
made
fair.
him seem vulnerable, and that's good. But I haven't seen the first two in a long time.
WC Witt is with me in chat. He says, "Love Iron Man 3. Thanks for the backup. I appreciate it."
Absolutely fine.
Back and Jack and I up.
By Civil War being the best of the Iron Man films.
This woman has been.
This isn't an Iron Man film. What are you talking about?
It's kind of a joke.
Oh, she's the villain.
Okay.
She's the villain
I know
in.
jokes.
She's the villain in Luke Cage, and I think she's wonderful. I think she's a terrific actress.
I still haven't
Well,
watched
so
Luke
this is
Cage.
another criticism that got levied quite a bit. Everyone, a lot of people who are against this film say this is way too forced. This scene.
I find it so affecting.
So the thing they start on, because I've been through this so many times, is this is what makes Tony agree to sign the Accords, and every time I'm like,
No.
No, not at all.
And apparently that's how the film sells it. And I was like, no, this is just.
I love
makes
it.
it way more personal.
I love his shock there. His like occupational hazard, the PTSD bit of reaching out.
That's not the same woman from Suicide Squad, is it?
No.
Amanda Waller?
No,
No,
that's a different
No, I don't
actress.
think so.
Yeah, I find this scene
I love it.
so affecting.
Because what she's saying isn't entirely reasonable if she knew all the facts, but it's completely understandable. Because, you know, they did prevent. She doesn't know. I'm assuming she doesn't know. Maybe she does. Do you reckon she knows that Ultron was Iron Man's fault?
Uh,
Or are we just assuming that?
I mean, that's
looks at his collateral?
the. It's an interesting question. Like, I mean, like, again, we're talking comic book storytelling, but if you think about everything and sort of, if you try and examine everything through a like actual realistic perspective, how much news would be distributed to the public? Like this,
Well, 'cause
Avengers
the excuse a lot of
indictment.
people use is that the Shield files got leaked, right? But that was before the events of Age of Ultron.
Well, this is a day later, and because T'Chaka came out and complained about. God, he is a beautiful man, and I will drink for that.
He certainly is. I'll drink too. And I don't even like men, but my God.
He is a beautiful man. I would love to have
You
cheekbones.
must note that Vision's wearing a sweater in this
Oh, I
scene.
hate straight vodka.
And the reason is
Get your
because he's trying to
Kool-Aid.
fit in.
Yeah, I love that touch of him trying. It's like actually, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Data from Next Generation. Like,
I'm gonna drink again for Elizabeth Olsen.
I'm pulling
woman,
30-second
my
rule on that one.
I have an unreasonable love for Vision. Actually, I connect with him a lot more than I think I give. I give him more than I think the films do, in terms of
Yeah.
there should have been more time with Vision. There should have been more time with him and her. But I've almost like blown up in my head what they've given me into more, so I feel
Well,
more for them.
I do that. I mean, I think we do the same with our favorite, like one-off episode shows. Like I did that with Next Generation all the time.
Like
You're fanficking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you sort of invent the scenes you don't see.
Yeah, you fanfic. I mean, is what you're doing.
I love Vision. He's awesome.
Especially in Infinity War, like that was
He's
so
the thing about
powerful.
Vision as well is he never does it. He's such a righteous character. He's very much like Cap in terms of his goals, right?
Oh no, wait, I can't spoil, but there's a scene in Infinity War where, my God, the feels, man.
We'll talk about it offline. Yeah, I have a different opinion. I love that movie though, but
Really?
yeah,
So
yeah.
right. This is the scene that pisses off so many people who don't like this movie. YMS is included in that selection, by the way. And
Yeah, but he's not a comic book
they
fan.
They just misunderstand. No, from a perspective of writing, like they're saying that it doesn't make sense that the government are citing these moments when in each of these moments the world was saved.
The Ponderer says the thing about Ponderer in chat says the thing about Vision is that he has so relatively little screen time, but every line of his accomplishes so much. I chalk that up
I
to
agree with that.
Paul Bettany. I mean, Bettany is such
I
a spec.
chalk that up to the Russos with this film. Their real estate with dialogue is insanely. Precise.
But I mean, Bettany has been in every Iron Man movie, and I believe
Oh, well, that's Jarvis though.
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. But
Jarvis
Jarvis was definitely a character, not developed to the same extremes. But his if Tony had a relationship with, if you concede that Tony had a relationship with Jarvis, then Jarvis was a character. I mean,
Okay, well, at the very least, Jarvis and Vision are not the same character.
no, they're not the same character.
No.
But I think Jarvis had similar levels of.
Well,
Jarvis had no
Jarvis-
body, no expressions, and yet he was still a
Vision
character.
is Iron Man plus the Hulk plus Ultron plus Jarvis.
True.
That's what they say, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
I still
that's what they say.
I still chalk it up to Bettany.
I'm okay with that. Like,
Yeah.
I really am. But I do
He's
think
so
that,
good.
The commenter was correct that they probably take a lot of care with his dialogue, considering
Yeah.
they have so little. But yes,
Dog Lover 427 says, "I hate straight vodka. Don't be a wuss. You're fine." Yeah, I'll take that.
She read my mind.
yes, the
Why is
question I
that
have-
eye? That's such a creepy, like a weirdly specific creepy shot from the newsreel footage. I guess if I had one problem, it's like that's a little on the nose.
So the key thing that's happening here is that the Avengers operate outside of the government. So
Yeah.
when the people and the states and the countries are like, "What the hell? All this wreckage? Who do we talk to? Who's accountable?" It's like nobody's accountable because it's just a team of renegades.
God,
That's one of the biggest important parts to this.
look at how tight that shirt is on him. I'll drink for that.
Was Vision CGI? Like, or was
No,
that all
it's
prosthetic?
prosthetics and it's sorted out later. It's like post-process. They do a bunch of
Oh, okay.
He had tracking
they-
he had tracking dots on his face.
Yeah, that's right. I've seen the
Yeah.
behind-the-scenes shots. I remember.
He was in
now.
full
notice-
makeup with tracking dots.
To be able to
So-
compare it, if you look at his face, it's very smooth and clean. But if you look at his
Yeah.
hands, it looks like it's painted on. His face has the
Yeah.
painted on stuff as well. They corrected
Yeah,
it.
so it's paint and prosthetics, but they polish it up with
After Effects stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, with like every facial reaction from both Tony and Cap in this scene, you can practically just understand the events from that alone.
Yeah.
Calvin says, "Do you ship any of the characters?" Well, Tony and Bucky, of course. Or not Tony. Cap and Bucky, of course. Tony and Bucky. That would be a weird one.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I ship it because it's weird. I like
That's
it.
that one's a little disturbing.
I like Black Widow and Hulk, but he's not in this.
I never got into that one.
I liked it. I liked it. 'Cause
I-
the main reason they connect is because they're both freaks, is the idea, right?
And
Hi, Andrea.
I like
Welcome,
the
welcome.
scene at the end of is it Avengers where he's on the jet and he closes the screen thingy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Well, I
mean-
say though that got Joss in a lot of trouble, right? Because the way it goes in the scene in Age of Ultron is she refers to herself as a freak because she's infertile, and a bunch
Well,
of women were like,
he was
"How dare
he
you
was
call
talking about
women?"
yeah, he was talking about the last scene with Hulk. But yeah,
No, I
that
know. I'm talking about that scene now, and I mentioned.
yeah.
But I
fucking
mean,
mentioned his scene.
No, I apologize. I was
there's
just
a
making sure I wasn't following.
But I was just gonna say that she says she thinks she's a freak, like he's a freak, because she can't have kids, right? And then the
but
internet
yeah.
like,
No,
how dare you refer to it is
she
she
says
refers to herself as a freak because she's had those bits removed.
she says still think you're the
surgery.
only monster here. So Hulk says he can't have.
Monster freak, whatever.
So Hulk earlier says he can't have kids and that he's a monster, and I think that was the. I don't think Josh was trying to say
No, that's
that she's a freak.
finish, you piece of shit.
Okay, go ahead.
The internet said that.
Oh yeah.
and
Oh, the internet said that.
the obvious thing
Yeah.
is that she feels that way. She's not. That's something she needs to overcome, obviously, because it's not true. It doesn't make her a
But
monster.
there's a certain part of society, shall we say, that thinks that to write a strong female character, she can't have any flaws or obstacles and whatnot.
A lot of people were insulted that Joss took her womanhood away, or something like that.
Yeah, but
That
I
seems
don't see
con-
it like that
That
at
seems
all.
contradictory. You're
Well,
complaining
I
that
was
she's
gonna
a
say-
monster because she doesn't have her womanhood, and you're complaining that she doesn't have her womanhood, and you're defining womanhood by her uterus.
That's
Yeah.
the part I wanted to bring.
It's
why
like-
is it-
Yeah,
There's multiple
that
layers
seems very
of
complicated now.
yeah. There's multiple layers and internal contradictions to that logic.
But either way, I like the scene they share where they basically like get
I'd-
very.
It's
You know,
yeah.
it's sort of like if someone took my testicles away, I would still be a man.
Exactly.
But if
So
your character says I don't feel like a man, then the writer has just said that men without balls are not men. It's like I don't think
But
that's how that works.
No, that's ridiculous. That's so ridiculous.
well, and again, this isn't what you weren't arguing for that perspective, but
No,
I'm
no,
just
I'm saying
I'm
it's
just bringing
not.
up that she was sterilized, so she was a better murderer, and
Yes.
Hulk was infertile because he was a monster.
Radioactive. I imagine,
Right, and so
Yeah.
they were talking about. She was actually saying literally, they're both. She's a killer and he's a monster. It just happened to come on the tail end of the story about her being sterilized. I think it is
Well,
kind of
I'd have to
unfortunate
watch the scene
timing.
again to be completely sure, but I'm almost the thing about like I'm pretty sure she is saying that in terms of she like thinks of herself almost as a monster because she can't have kids when she wants kids. And
It's been
that's
too
her
long for me.
problem
I
that
can't
you overcome.
remember.
That's what I remember thinking from the scene. I didn't have a problem with it because I was like, oh man, I really like Black Widow, and I hope she gets a conclusion to this. She gets her self-confidence or what's the word I'm looking for? Self-appreciation?
I was looking away from chat for a minute. There's a number of different comments. Let me look through real quick. Scotch calls herself a monster, but I think the whole dialogue is so horribly misinterpreted. Yeah, I kind of think that's
Yeah.
our
It probably
perspective.
could have been tightened up a lot. Yeah.
Calvin says
Definitely.
I ship Thor and Bruce. That's a good one.
Yeah, Ragnarok was cool.
Anyone who goes to the Red Room isn't going to come out right. I think that's more the point. Is that Pandy? And I think you're right. Is that it was the culmination of the process turning her
Yes,
into a killer that
totally.
made her a monster, not
Yeah.
sterilization.
Definitely.
Or not only sterilization, perhaps.
Self-esteem. And yeah, self-esteem is for everybody. That's an Angel reference. That's close enough to Buffy drink.
Oh god.
Oh,
Okay.
son of a biscuit.
Yeah, no, Age of Ultron is full of that, by the way, where there's loads of ideas I really like, but it's sort of it's all over the place. In terms
Yeah,
of how
one
it
of my
goes.
favorites kind of goes nowhere. Josh says the movie is very much about God and religion, and the most obvious bit of it is where the two of them meet him in the church, and he's talking about in old villages the church used to be in the center of the village, so that everyone could be close to God. And he says, "I love that
Okay.
the geometry of faith." And I was struck. It's partially what's his name's delivery, which makes Ultron such a captivating character, in spite of James Spader, yeah, in spite of so many frustrating issues with that movie.
I really wish he wasn't so goofy. That's all. He's like really silly, and he also gets beaten constantly. I really didn't like that. Like every time Iron Man or anyone turns up, it takes like seconds to thrash.
Yeah, he
Ultron
doesn't.
and
He
stuff.
doesn't really have any moments of superiority. There's supposed to be a point when all hope is lost in any story like
Yeah.
that, and there, I guess that's the part when he gets Sokovia elevated off the ground. Like once the magnets or whatever are lifting Sokovia into the air, that's the moment when all hope is lost. But it's so late in the movie. You know,
True.
there's
I just never found him intimidating, other than his opening scene where he bursts through the. Well, he's just walking in, all crippled, and he's like, I can't remember what he says. I just remember being like really freaked out by the limping robot dripping with oil.
that scene is so captivating.
I was so into it, and
It's
then from then
so
on, Ultron's
good.
like this pristine robot that just gets smashed and is annoying. I don't know. I just didn't like Ultron. I
Yeah,
thought he could've been so much better.
he has
Yeah.
great dialogue. It's just like he just doesn't have enough to do, I guess. And
He
like
felt a bit cartoony to me.
He did feel cartoony.
yeah,
and I think that
he
might have not
monologues
been-
quite. His monologues are great, but his interactions
He-
with other characters are a bit.
He sort of reminded me of like a Dick Dastardly kind of villain to me. I just didn't really like him at all.
Ultron was played by James Spader. Does that mean Ultron needs to call? I'm not going to say the rest of that sentence, Blue Stocking. You're not going to get it. You're not going to trick me into a beverage. He really should have been a 2-movie villain. I agree with that. That actually, yeah. Like Age of Ultron in the comics was a huge arc. Or
I was gonna say I'd probably just rebuild it from the ground up.
I
Would've
think
made him
I think it was an
way more
alternate.
intimidating as a start.
It was an alternate timeline story in the comics. But I do wonder what they're going to do after Infinity War. These movies have been
Yeah.
so
Wait,
dominant.
I would describe him as goofy or silly. He makes jokes in the films. He has like puns. It's really goofy.
The conversation Ultron and Vision have at the end of that film. Yeah, Sonic actually. I find
Oh,
that
that's a great
I find that conversation so beautiful. It's actually in Why You Should Watch Angel.
Mm-hmm.
To borrow a
Which
phrase.
I didn't realize until I rewatched Age of Ultron,
Oh, nice. Yeah,
and I was like, "Shit, man, that's what this is for."
and that's.
Aw, Peggy.
I say a thing isn't beautiful because it
fucking hell,
lasts.
we've skipped over like loads of this film.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that tends to happen. We have a couple of drinks and get talking.
I was gonna say that there's another angle to this film that I adore from a perspective of someone who's just done so much arguing. They in that room they were in, they're all having their say, and Tony says something that's really definitive and hard to argue against. Before Cap can respond, he gets a message about this, and he's reading it, and then he goes down the stairs, and I think as he leaves or something, you hear Tony in the background say, "Okay, that's it, I win." And it's like, as far as he's concerned, it's over. But then we have Cap here who gets completely reinforced because she says you should plant yourself like a tree and don't give up if you have your perspective. You know?
Which is so wrong. I hate this speech.
Yes, it's.
I
it's
hate
not
this
wise
speech.
as a catch-all no, but it's useful if you're right, and all she's arguing is as long as you think you're right.
But that's
then-
that's the thing. Either you're Captain America or you're Hitler. Like that speech applies to both of them.
yes.
Like
The thing
plant if you think you're right, plant yourself like a tree and don't move. And
Yeah,
you
but
say
gotta
you
remember the
move.
Context. You've seen Agent Carter, right? So she's referencing how Peggy Carter was like humiliated. Well, she was a joke in her agency until she proved them all wrong by sticking to her guns, whatever. Like she keeps going on her little investigations and ignoring the men who are like, "Ugh, you can't take you seriously." She did her own shit. She's obviously talking about how do your own shit. Don't let anyone tell you can't do it. That's sort of angle.
Mm-hmm.
And it applies to Captain America just enough to push him to ignore the opposition at this point, because even Black Widow tries again by here, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, you're right. What she said could apply to the worst humans on the planet.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
would be bolstered by it.
I love their little. I do love their relationship. That this is like a
Yes.
hint of what came from Winter Soldier.
Yeah, he
Why
looked out
then?
for
Why?
everyone.
Yeah, I can't do it. Then why are you here? I thought you needed someone.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Ah, my heart.
But the reason I brought that argument thing up is it's going to happen again. They have another argument that.
By the way,
rails.
This is we haven't been paying attention to the rules either. This is disagreements between characters other than Tony and Cap.
Oh, I thought the rule was it couldn't
All
involve either of them, rather than.
I'm fine with that. Oh, Epix00, $2 donation. Thank you very much.
As
Cheers.
a drinkly drink.
That's a drink
Thank you
for
very
all of
much.
us as
We'll
well.
drink to that.
Happy Friday
I'm gonna-
or happy Saturday.
I'm just gonna skip
Cheers,
ahead to it
Epix.
because
Cheers.
we'll probably have other things to talk about at that point. But I was gonna say the second portion to the argument, 'cause there's 3 main times they get to have the argument about the entire point of this film, and all 3 times they get derailed. So the first one is because Peggy dies.
That's true. They never do really resolve it.
The second
No.
one is that Cap gets very personal about how Wanda's being kept in security. Iron Man's about to get him to sign, and then Iron Man says, and I'll highlight it if we get to it while not speaking about something else. But Iron Man's like, "Yep, we can officialize all of this. We can get our own sort of standards in. Once you signed, we can officialize everything with Thingy and Wanda." And he says, "Wanda, what's going on with Wanda?" And he's like, "Oh, she's confined to the compound. It's fine." And then he goes, "Oh, Tony," and he loses. He was about to
Oh.
agree, and he comes right back out because he's just like, "You've imprisoned one of the Avengers under the government. This is fucking wrong."
I've never read the comic series. I do wonder if they resolve the philosophical. Like, the thing is, Buffy and Cap's story is a sideshow to the sort of
Buffy and
said
Cap.
political
That's a-
political disagreement. Buffy. Oh crap! I said Buffy.
You said
Bucky.
Buffy.
Ah.
Damn it, Ian.
How far are we? It's a third in, and I'm
You even
screwing
you even
up
paused.
words.
You said Buffy and Cap. Oh yeah, Buffy and Cap.
Anyway, go on.
No.
No.
What I was gonna say though is, from Iron Man's perspective, it's like, yeah, just keep Wanda in there until we officialize what she did, so that then the government is responsible for what she did rather than her, so she won't generate any more drama. And she's got acres to play with. She can do whatever she wants. There's all kinds of technology, but from Captain America's perspective, she's behind bars until you accept the government's hold over you. So, do you see how they're both like right? This is why I love this movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think part of the issue though is that they don't go far enough. Like you're saying, the actual discussion gets
I think-
interrupted.
I think the conversation does have an ending, and this is about this goes deeply into how you feel about politics as well. But
Oh.
I think you have to side with Iron Man at the end of the day, and I have a lot of arguments with.
I absolutely side with Iron Man.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
this
me
is the
too.
thing.
Yeah.
Me
It's
too,
not-
without a doubt.
It's not like cut and dry that Captain America's wrong or anything. It's that, no, realistically speaking, you're gonna want to side with Iron Man
Yeah.
because.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, then I lean more.
The thing is,
By the
there's
way,
way
Cal,
more people
this
saying Iron Man was wrong.
is the first time I've watched this movie since Black Panther, and that scene actually hit me way more successfully than it did the first.
I think it should.
First couple of times I've watched it.
I think that makes
Don't-
sense. Even watching 2 characters just hang out, even if they're the most annoying characters ever, you'd be like, "Oh, they knew each other." You'd be like,
Man, he looks so good in that 3-piece.
well, that's a drink.
I'm just glad we didn't end up in the discussion about Black Panther because
I-
that one's gonna get messy.
I never
Not too often.
really realized how much of a crush on Chris Evans I have.
Oh, it's completely reasonable.
It's strong.
Yeah.
He's so just like, I don't know. He's like all American. You know,
I just
he's
love
got
that he
that.
used the Human Torch.
Yeah. Flame on! I mean,
Oh, I forgot about that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh wow, that's so bad.
yeah, one of my favorite scenes in all of the MCU, and the 3 of us have talked about it, is when in the first movie he comes out of the tank with those giant topless pectoral muscles. And the actress who played Agent Carter was so taken aback that she actually like almost reaches out and touches his pec and then backs off. And that was not in the script.
Oh, yeah.
That completely happened. That was not
Yeah.
improvised. Like,
Yeah, before, yeah.
yeah, she was standing
I
in front of
laughed when
him.
I saw that yesterday.
It's and I know I would just be like, man, are you? How are you?
Two about to have a disagreement, and they're not Cap and Tony.
And
Oh, well,
I
they
really
haven't yet.
laughed, I
You're
laughed
about
a
to.
bit when they're in the car speeding towards the plane, and Peggy kisses Cap, and then Cap looks at the Tommy Lee Jones character, then he's like,
I
I'm
ain't
not
kissing
gonna
you.
kiss you.
Yeah, that's great. I was going to say, I want to highlight something fun. My sister's boyfriend works on digital art. He's, I can't remember what company he's a part of. Double Negative, I think it is. But he was sent a request to create the, if you look at her face, can you see the mud or the bits of...
Yeah,
she's got a clean face in this scene, and they realized that was wrong. She was in an explosion, so he had to make those parts of her face, and they ordered him to make 50 different versions, and they chose that one.
That's insane. What?
He got paid for it, so it's fine. But how interesting is that? I was just like, wow, that's specific.
50? That's really over the top, though. 50.
Apparently, they were very specific about getting it the exact way they wanted it.
Well, a bunch of questions. Comic apparently doesn't give satisfying answers. Comic ends with Cap just stopping the fight when he realizes how much collateral damage there's been and just goes on the run. Will Lala says, how do you feel about the new Oscars category? The best popular movie, I think it's a total cop-out and undermines art films versus, or undermines the idea that a very monetarily successful movie can't be as good as an A24 or a small studio movie. Calvin says, let's talk about Black Panther. I'll eventually have a Black Panther review up. And Will Lala says, the Passion of the Nerd Best Film Channel. If you're saying that's me, man, I don't know about that. There's lots of actual film channels out there, but otherwise I don't know what you mean there.
Ian, you're amazing. Shut up.
Yeah,
but I'm not a film channel principally. I'm a Buffy the Vampire Angel channel.
By the way, you do know that in the comics the disagreement's different. It's not the same as in the film.
Yeah, aren't they swapped?
No, it's not quite that. It's the superhero registration thing. So basically, every
that's right.
And yeah, but the thing is,
really?
a friend of a friend was telling me about how much he prefers the comic book story. He explained it all to me, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, Civil War story was better." He was like, "What do you mean?" One of the key details he told me, which was Iron Man gives up Spider-Man's name as Peter Parker, and Cap completely disagrees with him doing that because I'm not even sure if he does it with his will. And I remember thinking that just sounds like I would disagree with Iron Man flat out. I wouldn't even consider oh yeah, that seems fair.
There's a couple of Oscar comments in there. Cal, did you hear about? Well, I don't know if you care about the Academy Awards. What are the BAFTAs?
Don't take them seriously, but I do find them funny.
Right. There's been a steady decline in.
I always disagree with
the meme
result.
I've been hearing is they invented a new category just to let Black Panther win.
What?
Well, the other thing I've heard is that it undermines Black Panther. It's let's say in a bubble, if you're someone who thinks that Black Panther deserves to be in contention for Best Picture, then creating a best popular movie removes it from, because there's still going to be people who think.
Is that what they did?
So the Oscars have created a secondary Best Picture. There's the Best Picture, and then there's the Best Popular Picture. And the only movies allowed in that one are the ones that make over a certain amount of money, or I forget exactly how the criteria works. It's bizarre and terrible.
That is very bizarre.
But the thing is, a decade ago, I think it was, the Oscars. There used to be 5 Best Picture nominations, and I think it was after The Dark Knight. There was such an uproar that the Oscars did not nominate The Dark Knight as one of the Best Pictures that year.
Well, they tend to snub movies like
well,
that.
I don't know. I stopped him at the door. I'm just like, why'd you take it seriously anyway? The Oscars don't mean anything.
The year after that, they, instead of having 5 Best Picture nominations, they had 10. And now they have the Best Popular Movie. So essentially what they're doing is now they have 20 Best Picture nominations. So it's like we were talking about before we launched the stream, the delegitimization of criticism. I'm all for if The Dark Knight was one of the best 5 movies that year, and I don't remember the 5 movies that came out that year. An organization or a critic saying they made a mistake, or there was something omitted or missed. But what they're doing is they're softening their relevancy so significantly that it's meaningless. Right. It no longer means anything, and that's in the pursuit of viewers. in
So-
old media. Make the Oscars a web show. You
I
know.
actually watched YMS reacting to like a supercut of the Oscars, and the thing I found really interesting about it was like, I'll check this out. It's probably gonna be funny, and like he was getting legitimately invested in the movies he thought were good, getting what he would consider like appreciation or acknowledgement of his quality. And I was just like, I think even it doesn't matter how much I or anyone else says it that the Oscars are irrelevant, don't do anything. It's like, no, you want the movies you think are good that get an Oscar. Just do.
I think it's like sports. I think that's what award shows are. Is they're like the intellectual version of sports. You're pulling for your team. You have your favorite team for whatever criteria, and you want them to win in the race.
I always disagree with the Oscar, like the winners and whatnot.
I
so
love.
I just,
Sorry, I love that. They hit
I
the
don't
the
pay
shield.
attention.
Dude, it's another great action scene.
This is. I don't mean to interrupt you, Jack. I apologize, but that action,
No, it's fine.
the bit with the shield where he holds it over it, is so
Well-
cool.
You know why it works though as well is because we all go, oh yeah, the shield can do that.
The shield can do that. It got-
Hello, Megan, welcome.
The Russos, more than any other of the directors across the MCU, from me personally, I got the impression that they really care about getting the signature moves out of all of the heroes whenever they can.
and him
So
blocking
using
bullets
what
with
they
the
have as specialization.
him blocking bullets with the arm is
Yeah,
a great
and that,
detail.
They're signatures because he's the only one who can do that.
Oh, and that's so brutal. That's what I was talking about earlier. The gravity, the not the mortar, the cinder block. Him grabbing that cinder block and
I
just
feel like it's visceral.
it's visceral. Exactly. That's what they
So
nail.
badass.
This is the other thing, by the way. I was like, imagine Tony right now. He's like, we needed to get Bucky and just quiet this thing down while we sort out what the government coming after us already. It's like, you're gonna beat up like fucking 30 German police officers right now. It's like Cap does it as well. Cap breaks their communications. That guy's probably like, aren't you Captain America?
The low angle flying
Well,
jump.
he's not Captain Germany.
Well, this is the thing. What I love about it is like what they're doing right now. They were attacked. They were assaulted. It's like, yeah, but you gotta know how this looks.
Mm,
German police. These guys are the good guys.
but I mean,
Great.
what else are they gonna do though?
Exactly.
No, but
That's
I
what
do
it's fantastic.
I do love when Cap catches the guy and it's like, come on, man.
Do you know how hard it is to get two good guys to be on opposite ends? It's like
Yeah.
you got to get them fully developed and righteous and principled, and then also have it conflict. It's like it's not easy.
I love this movie.
Me too.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I
this
re-
intro for Black Panther, by the way, I was falling in love with him very quickly in this film. He's so badass.
Jack, what were you saying about the Oscars?
Oh, I pretty much just said it. Just that I don't really pay attention anymore because I just always disagree with the winners. Yeah. And I think critics are kind of out of touch, and same with the Academy as well. Like,
Well, the
I
thing
just
is-
don't understand the criteria and whatnot.
The thing about the Oscars is that they're not. I mean, what's garbage about the Oscars is that it's not critics. Like
Right.
it's the Academy, and Academy membership
Yeah.
is very
People usually
bizarre.
trying to appreciate their buddies.
Yeah, exactly. It's very bizarre and inner circle, and that's why like people criticize that La La Land was up
Yeah.
for it when it was a masturbatory Hollywood film.
Yeah.
When Moonlight was up that year, and then Moonlight wins in the most
That's, by the
confusing.
way,
What?
Falcon practically knocking out. He could have potentially have had that like helicopter crash into a building.
He could have
The point
crashed
of-
and killed that helicopter pilot.
and that's what I mean. It's like the repercussions here. Do you not see what you're fucking doing right now? It's
What's-
like you having a meltdown if you were Tony?
This action sequence is crazy. It's a foot
Yeah.
chase, and it's so
really
exciting.
You're dealing with 3 super soldiers, so they can all run really fast.
And I
It's
don't,
great.
I don't know if it's the cinematography, like the way they shoot this, that is so exciting. Because this could be incredibly boring. It's 3 guys running, but the way it's
Yeah,
cut,
they
shot,
both
and
run
cut
fast.
together is so good.
It's really good.
Well, do you know what makes me sad is that the Russos said they want out of the MCU once they do their 4th film. I was like, no, please.
No,
don't go.
no, stay.
They
Yeah.
literally said they want to do other stuff, and I was like, I don't care. Make more Marvel movies.
Wish
I mean,
could stay. Sorry.
Make
Oh,
more-
Oh,
no.
you son of a biscuit!
Oh, no. I referenced Buffy. I'm
Well,
sorry.
there you go.
I'm sorry. Oh god.
Like, so obviously there's the Russo tier of Marvel movies, and then you have Avengers, and I would say Taika Waititi.
I still think Avengers is
He's
top
really
tier.
good.
Genuinely, I think Avengers is great.
What's weird is the Russo brothers movies all feel like the same movie to me, and it's an amazing movie. Other than
You mean, like, the
Infinity
same way
War,
it's made, or...
Winter Soldier and this feel so similar in flavor and quality and storytelling.
I wish I could agree, but I think Civil War's way better than... I gotta be careful.
I think that
Signature.
I like Winter Soldier more. I do like the film, I really do. But
I love Winter Soldier. I think it's great.
I think you might be able to make the argument that this
signature
is
move. Signature move. Jump like a cat. I did out like.
Lick your armpit.
It's so cool though, because I feel like the Russos are nerds when they make this. They're like, I want to get Cap doing cool shield-related things, and Panther doing cat-related things, Bucky doing arm-related things.
This
the airport scene, dude. The signature moves are everywhere.
Oh, that sequence is so good. I love this movie.
But yeah, I was gonna say the Winter Soldier is typically looked at as the best of the Marvel films, so don't worry, I'm used to.
I used to think that, but I've grown to feel like Civil War is better. Go ahead, Jack.
I was just saying that I think you could make the argument that this is objectively better, but I just enjoy Winter Soldier more.
I mean, I'm gonna be a dick and go further and just say it's the best superhero movie in existence. I plan to argue.
Well, we're in the golden age of superhero movies. Like that's I don't know if that's a tall statement anymore.
Are looked at as The Dark Knight, The Watchmen, and then some others from the MCU.
Superman 1.
I love The Dark Knight.
I don't think Superman 1.
The Gene Hackman Superman movie.
Wait,
it's so good.
We're talking Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Different era.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. It's like you're comparing. I was about to make a basketball reference that my Australian and Welsh friend probably wouldn't be able to recognize, but it's like comparing Wilt Chamberlain to Kobe Bryant.
I don't really know what that
means.
No,
okay.
I know who Kobe Bryant is, but I don't care.
It's like comparing.
Do you want to just say apples and oranges?
It's like comparing Kurosawa to Steven Spielberg.
Wait. So apples to oranges? Is that what you want?
Sports metaphors are worthless internationally. Holy cow! That's
so, apples and oranges.
So wait, Callum, you think this is better than Infinity War?
Yes, I would go as far as saying Infinity War, from an objective standpoint, is probably worse than Avengers and a couple of others.
What?
No.
Wait. I adore Infinity War.
How dare you?
That's
a lot of plot problems. A lot of plot problems.
You and I are no longer internet YouTube friends.
I have to be honest. It's not. I don't have a choice about this. Infinity War. There's plenty of issues that have been brought to my attention, and I'm just like, yeah, I got nothing. That's an issue, and these aren't small things.
Well,
they create a lot of the biggest scenes in the film. I love the film. I really do. You saw my video on it.
We need to have that conversation at some point. The subjective versus objective conversation that we've hinted about over time. I think we had a good version of it on Discord where we were chatting one time, and we both went, "Oh, I get, yeah, you think," and I was like, "Oh, I get, okay." But I also think that I think there's an idea there's like the value of resonance versus sort of objective perfection. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
like
two different arguments to me.
No, they absolutely are two different arguments, and that was something we were talking about on Discord.
Yeah.
But like, I don't like.
Except that someone could argue that Thor 1 was the most emotionally resonant MCU movie to them, and you'd be like,
no.
Okay, fine.
But
what can you do?
But do you
I
think
think
anyone out there genuinely thinks that though?
Yes,
Like,
yes, I do.
I
If it's
in
possible, there's
in
absolutely someone out there who thinks Thor 1 is the best one.
in my experience
No,
with
but
my YouTube channel about no topic in particular, I've learned that there's a fan of everything.
Isn't
There-
there like literally a law?
but,
Is
like,
it Poe's law?
emotional.
If it's possible, it's happening.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Go ahead, Jack.
But you purely said like emotional resonance and whatnot, right? It's the most emotional, but it's not. It's just not, right?
You can't say that for everyone.
I
Is it-
guess.
There are some. I mean, there are people who treasure Thor 1 and the sort of Shakespearean.
Yeah.
What's interesting is I've heard people. I really need to watch Black Panther again and make a video
See,
about it.
Honestly, I didn't really like Thor all that much until Ragnarok, and now I really like
A
it.
lot of the reasons people celebrated Black Panther were the reasons I heard positive reviews of Thor. The Shakespearean aspects of it, like the brother relationship of it. No. Hold on, I'm not endorsing those arguments. I'm saying, like the Shakespearean aspects of those didn't elevate those movies for me. But I did hear those arguments. There are people who love those movies. I mean,
guys
Black
saw
Panther.
my
There's a lot of people who love that movie. Go ahead.
Infinity War video. I didn't say at the end of my Infinity War video. I didn't describe like I was practically tearing up at how invested I was at blah 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 with Iron Man and Peter. I literally just explain all the plot points and then the payoff and then move on to the next one. I don't tell you how to feel emotionally. I don't even tell you how I felt emotionally until I think I throw something at the end. My point there is I'm explaining all the mechanics and then the audience feels from what I say because I don't need to explain the subjective part, the emotional resonance, because I already know that the quality of the film is going to just do it for them.
I disagree with that. My entire brand is based on explaining the subjective part of things. Like
I disagree with you about your own
season 1 of especially when we get to season 6. Season 6, and I'm going to drink for Buffy before chat explodes. We're 30 seconds ahead.
Oh God, here we go.
Season 6 of Buffy has many objective criticisms, and I would actually agree with a lot of them. I think that in terms of storytelling cleanliness, season 3, the back half of season 2, season 5 are all cleaner than season 6. There's contradictions, there's plot holes, there are issues with season 6.
I agree with you.
Sure, absolutely. But the emotional resonance of season 6, the meaning of what it's trying to say, the value of its effort is more interesting than its failures.
You've lumped it in as like binary. Like if it has objective issues, that means it can't be considered objectively sound or something like that.
Well, I guess
if you
what
explain Willow's arc, you don't need to.
No, but we're talking about it.
In season 6, where you have to highlight some contradiction that ruins the payoffs, because Willow's is pretty solid aside from.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm interrupting you.
Harsh metaphors, I guess.
Well, and what's so funny is I cherish this relationship so much. I was talking to Jack about this. I've been rewatching season 6, and as I've been rewatching it, things have been changing. For instance, I've been enjoying the trio, which I've never done before, and I also in Life Serial is a spectacular episode. And it has the time.
Buffy segue is gonna go for.
Yeah, it has the time loop in it. It has the time loop in it. But when Buffy is sitting across,
the film?
no, we cannot pause the film. I won't remember the end of the film if we do. When Buffy is sitting across from Spike, I thought to myself, wait a second, Spike is to Buffy what Magic is to Willow. That's the parallel.
Kind of.
Is Spike is Buffy's vice in that season, and she admits it.
I was gonna say, I thought you would have been on top of that because she says it.
She does, yeah, no, she does say that Spike is her vice, but I'm talking about the metaphorical parallels between the two of them. Magic is Willow's vice, but the thing was, I was thinking about it, and I sat down and I wrote an email to Mark Field, the guy who wrote Myth, Metaphor, and Morality and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which started my whole channel. And he writes back. He's like, "Yeah, I think he and I have been emailing back and forth about it." And I had this moment where I was reading. I was just like, "I've never had a mentor before." That's kind of I kind of love this. It's kind of amazing. It was just I had.
The Ponderer said that as much as you can try, this is directed at me. As much as you can try, you cannot separate your own emotional reaction from your criticism. I think that's a myth, as I just demonstrated with how much I adore Infinity War. But I can't deny the clinical issues that the film has, and I can tell you they don't bother me.
What I was like,
what, out and I don't want to damage the person's efforts just by going.
But that's what I was talking about. I was likening Infinity War to season 6, and then Civil War to season 5 or season 3. I mean, that's ultimately what I'm shooting at.
Podium for season 6, and I don't know if maybe you think the objective issues of season 6 are more significant than I do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I may absolutely. Yeah, I think I do.
That might be the breakage, because maybe you think I'm completely on board with the objective issues, which I could probably name a couple, but I can't think of many that ruined the biggest emotional payoffs of season 6.
I can, but we'll get there.
That's probably a conversation.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like, the difference in our approach to content is one of my favorite things about these conversations.
Well,
it is like.
I like, in my perspective too, is how you try to figure out the soul in Buffy is me trying to find ways that this subjective thing does work. I just have to keep trying, and I'll figure it out. And I've had so much success so far in applying it that I don't want to just give up the second someone goes, no, your feelings always come into it. I'm just like, nah, that's not good enough.
Yeah, and that's the fun. That's like, see, I think that there is a spectrum in criticism, and I mean, I'm saying this more for the benefit of the people watching than you and I and Jack, because the three of us have talked about this before. But like that, the spectrum of criticism ranges from absolute discussion of the aesthetics to my emotional interaction with it, right? And like, I'm not an academic, I'm not an educated critic, and so most of my content, most of my content falls on the but I think that you can logic out aesthetics. I think I don't know if it requires the same level of education.
I don't find your channel is that far off from mine in terms of what we do.
Yeah,
I really don't.
Well, no, yeah.
Good job of separating or drawing the line, or at least that's how I perceived it.
Sonic says, I wouldn't say you tell us how to feel so much that you tell us how you feel and explain in a way so thorough that we choose to feel with you or not. I think that's pretty cool, Sonic. Thank you.
What X means to me. To me, I'm like, this is going to be a very subjective video, but that's great because it's posted. While if you said, I'm not going to review this episode of Angel because I just don't like it, and it's pretty bad. I would just be like
The Ring.
Yeah, but you put your effort in.
Sure, absolutely.
You describe the plot points, and then you raise the actual grievances with the episode, and then you talk a bit about the meta of how it and all comes to. And to me, I'm just like, yep, clear lines being drawn between the objective and subjective.
That's interesting.
With your channel. I mean, you inspired my channel. I don't know if I've said this before.
No, you've not said that before. I appreciate that, but.
Fanboying
dude, you got me. I made a really old review, and then I stopped, and then I watched your Why You Should Watch Buffy, and then a bunch of guides, and then I was like, I want to make videos again.
By the way, man, me saying that you and I have different styles is not a criticism. I actually embrace that. Like, that's one of the reasons I enjoy our conversations.
Oh, well, I think everybody's different, but I was going to say the fundamentals of like, I really don't see your channel as being primarily subjective because it describes emotions. I describe emotions regularly. I just signpost when I'm going to the subjective.
We're all looking, which I don't. I guess that's that's another thing is like I'm always sort of searching for the subjective experience. But that's neither here nor there.
I tend to just tell people, feel how you feel. If I don't have anything to say on the subject, for example, Outlast. Everybody wanting to cover Outlast. I didn't get scared by Outlast at all. I just went through it aesthetically, as you pointed out, and at the end I was like, you're scared by it, be scared by it. That's great, because that's I didn't feel that, but I can see how it can do it for you.
The thing is, though, it's the scares are mostly jump scares, so that's
that's what I went through aesthetically, but as we just pointed out, that doesn't change that someone else in the world found that to be the most terrifying game in the history of their life.
But it's like the reason why I think modern horror has lost its way is because it's all jump scares and false scares and all that stuff. And
I think you could make a really good case for it, but you can't say that the film isn't scary other than for you.
Blue Stocking.
yeah.
Just like you can't say that Thor 1 is not emotionally resonant other than you can say it for you.
Blue Stocking.
yeah.
It's not just you.
But yeah, like as a horror fan, it's sad the state of modern horror. It's very sad.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
By the way, we launched into the Buffy tangent. I'm gonna drink because we're now about to get to one of my favorite action sequences in this movie.
Oh, and by the way,
the highlight for me is when Iron Man realizes he was nearly just shot in the face. You get his
the bullet in the hand is stunning. It's so good.
Yeah, it's great. I've heard nitpicks that it's like, why didn't Zemo read it out faster, considering how close he came to getting him? I was like,
because it's a movie.
Well, this is the. I don't know if you agree with this, right? So if someone said that to me, I'd be like, valid criticism. It doesn't really affect anything because he gets
sure.
That anyway.
Yeah.
It's yes, is a criticism, but it would only have been valid if Bucky had gotten out and beaten Zemo to death before he could do it.
But that's an issue I have with. This is a pejorative term, and I don't mean it in that way. Nitpick criticism. Nitpick criticism is based on math, so enough things are wrong, then the movie sucked. Like, and if you relate it to a meal, like you have to admit, those fries could have been warmer. It's like, well, yes, those fries could have been warmer. I agree with you.
Well,
I still love that meal.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, it doesn't. The person brings it up. It doesn't matter because the fact that he took longer didn't change anything.
Yeah, those fries were still delicious.
If it did, then it might have been something to talk about.
Well, I gave the subjective fries response, and you gave the objective fries response.
Yeah,
that's another flaw. That's another fall very similar to the opening one, where I remember sitting in the theater and people were like, "Whoa!" I saw this movie 4 times in the theater. I love this film.
I think I saw it twice, but I've seen it way too many times for a human now.
I think I've just developed this internal restraint when it comes to my favorite films, and actually it may have come from The Dark Knight. I saw The Dark Knight multiple times in the theater, and I watched it over and over and over again, and eventually I started to dislike it. Certain aspects of it, certain things occurred, certain stupid lines, certain hammy dialogue.
That's why I make sure I don't watch Buffy too often.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't... Well, hold on.
By the way, this is pretty great for Iron Man's character. He's running right into this.
With no armor on his hand!
Yeah.
The smile.
A reference when it's like, Tony Stark's a hero. He really is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He ran in with armor on his hand and no combat training.
He's great.
Yeah.
Did you see when he pulled the head off the gun as well? He had like a little smile, like, "Hey, I'm winning."
And Winter Soldier callback.
Oh, another nitpick you could have is he could have just snapped her neck with the power of the arm, but yet he choked her for a bit. I'd be like, yeah.
That's true.
This scene is this scene is more exciting than most of Black Panther.
Thank you.
This combat right here, this fight specifically.
Genuine criticism here, though. From again, my brain is filled with them because I have to keep track because I really want to make this video eventually. How the hell does Black Panther lose track of Bucky here? Especially considering he's a super soldier.
The double kick, the kick into the wall. I just never got into any of the action sequences in Black Panther the same way.
No,
and I enjoyed Black Panther.
The Russos have like 2 minutes of Black Panther, and they give him so much awesome.
They're so good.
I still haven't seen it.
Just so we're all clear, that's not a criticism of Black Panther. That is a celebration of this movie.
That damage control.
I have not decided how I feel about Black Panther. That's my stance about that movie.
You said I gave the objective response and you gave the subjective one. Do you see what I mean? I think I said this to you before about how like it can help clarify conversation if we draw that line. So,
well,
like,
no.
if two people are arguing those two sections without realizing, then you have
Oh
chaos.
my god, Boris,
wait.
why would you throw me under the bus like that, man? Oh.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. I need to drink. And I'm not going to
I
define
know
why.
why you need to drink.
Holy hell.
Oh, yeah, I should drink too.
I mean, he's like the perfect man, really.
Yeah, what's your comment on that, though?
Sorry,
The clarity of conversation to draw the line.
I'm still dealing with being a relatively straight man turned on by Chris Evans' biceps.
Right there with you. Oh no, I referenced Buffy. Oh no.
No, 30-second rule.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about, Ian, is when someone says, "This is the thing that happens," and it contradicts this other thing, and then someone responds with, "I still like it."
So I had a wonderful conversation with one of my subscribers. I don't see him in the chat here. Pandian says, "As a gay woman, trust me, it's okay." All right. Hey, opposite sides of the spectrum there, and we both drink. I appreciate
Another
it.
example of real estate that the Russos take advantage of. They're like, we have a few seconds to add more flesh to this villain
Yeah.
or antagonist.
No,
They
this
take
is
full advantage.
this is only about character right here, and I love that. A character is my favorite thing.
Megan
it's
says,
the core of storytelling.
But so many people don't realize it. Like over plotting is
the heart, story's the body, and
the funny thing is that like I think character is easier to pull off than plot. To have a successful like in terms of exclusivity, if you have great characters sitting in a subway having a conversation, that can be watchable.
Well,
but
dude,
but
my perspective is plot writes itself if you have all characters that are clear and have motivation.
right, yeah.
Plot is them making decisions.
But so I think the gist of what you were asking me is like the value of objectivity versus subjectivity. Subjectivity is self-explanatory. Everyone's personal experience is their own. If you have a great experience, fabulous. But you have to have a language to discuss art. You have to have a set of terms. You have to have a way to a sort of comparison to have a conversation about it with someone else. Beyond this is what I felt. I felt like Back to the Future was great. Okay, well, we can't have a conversation that way. And so the objective analysis serves that conversation. And that conversation serves the betterment of art. And I fully celebrate and I agree with that. It's just not where my gist lies. It's not where my heart lies. I focus on the individual experience.
I don't disagree with your assessment, but the problem is that it implies that I don't share the exact same. What do you think I want to do? Which is, I mean, I'm not asking you a hypothetical that I actually want you to answer. I just want you to go, what? And then I'm going to say, I want to actually, my core is I want to share what I feel about these pieces of media, but I don't think it's good enough if I just tell you in simple terms. For example, I like Civil War. I don't like Interstellar. I like Winter Soldier. I don't like Iron Man 3. I was like, okay, fine. Can you give me something that, you know, the opposition? For example, I tell you Iron Man 3 makes me feel like they betrayed his character. You're like, I can't empathize with that at all. And then I give you scenes, references, dialogue, and comparisons, things that you actually accept. And then you're like, oh.
Right, so
I like what you said. The subjective is like the language for us, and then objective is like the line we cross to talk in the general realm, if you will.
Subjective is the individual experience, and objective is the conversational, not experience, but it's just the set of definition.
It's important to draw that line as well, because a lot of, and I'm not trying to be condescending here, but a lot of people don't understand that line.
Sure. I get that. I'm just less interested in it. Sort of the thing is like when I put up a. Sorry, that guy. He's really sweaty and his hair looked good on his face.
Because I think this might be a
wow. Ian's heterosexuality is slowly slipping away.
Slipping away. The veil of heterosexuality.
Just be God. I don't. I think it's looked at as like that I value objectivity more than subjectivity or something.
No,
It's
no, no,
more
no, no.
about valuing the line.
But when I said that there's a contrast between our styles, what I was implying is that I just don't care about the other one. Like when I set out to write a review.
Sure.
Generally speaking, I think so. Well,
I
no.
get the
Okay.
impression that you
Wait.
put more effort in to actually draw the line.
No, okay, I think I'm wrong. I have to think about it. I'm thinking only in terms of the episodes that I celebrate. And the way I celebrate is by sharing my personal experience. So here's what the episode meant to me, here's what I
Well,
got from it, and here's something personal from my life that occurred. And that tends to disarm people.
to connect a bridge to you, like when I eventually want to talk about Buffy, I want to just describe why Anya's speech in the body means so much to me personally. I don't care about the objective side of it at all. I'll make that clear in the video.
The reason I felt like I was wrong is because when I talk about the negatives, then I'm talking about the same thing. I'm talking about the campiness. I'm talking about, lines
they're
that
all
thud or
conversations.
sort of, yeah.
So
yeah.
when you say it's campy, I'd be like, clarify what that means in terms of, can you get to a point where you can explain to me that that's bad objectively? If you can, great. If you can't, then I'm going to have to just wonder if I agree with you subjectively.
I guess the distinction is that my content has been more focused on the celebration, and you've done that Infinity War video, right?
Yeah, so a lot of people look at me as like the guy who just wants to shit on stuff, and then the Infinity War threw him for a loop. As far as I'm concerned,
the cynical dissector, right?
Yeah,
and I think that's
so many
wrong.
subjects at a time,
right?
But I want to do. It's not my fault that The Force Awakens has less to celebrate than it does to criticize. I didn't want it to be that way, but I'm trying to use a system that is consistent, irrelevant of my feelings. And that's what the result was. While if I tackle something like Civil War, I guarantee you 80% of it is going to be unbridled praise, while the rest will be like, okay, so there is this thing.
That's fair. Like I said, I think I was wrong. I've exposed something that I've exposed an error in my logic in comparison. So.
And I know this sounds a little bit martyry or whatever, but like I genuinely think that we can help the discourse on art if we keep pushing this line, because so many conversations are very toxic online with you've seen YouTube comment sections, right, where there's like actual arguments, but then there's random feelings thrown in, then there's statements of actual facts of production thrown in.
I mean, man,
that's all about how you value intent versus context, as we were talking about earlier, and it gets so confusing because there's no rules.
I was telling Jack yesterday, that's partially what I feel the value of these, like the mediocre decision stream is like what we just established is that there's not a quantitative difference in our approach, but there is a difference in our channels, simply by virtue of the fact that numerically what your reviews are focused on and what you've said versus my own, right? Yeah. And so that sort of informs perspective and what people think, and what we've just talked about I think that's an error.
We will make a podcast about subject versus object, I reckon.
Sure, yeah, I think it's a fun conversation. Bandian says, "Oh my God, my dog is snoring so loud." He's the best Peter Parker ever.
He's the best Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
I totally agree with that. Tom Holland is the best we've ever had.
And I love the original Spider-Man movies.
Yeah,
the Sam Raimi. The first two. Yeah, obviously, no one loves the third one. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, the first two are great. The third one, Venom.
Oh, and he's wearing the pizza shirt. I didn't notice that.
Horrible. Yeah. A lot of people say, well, it's his character. It's got a pizza with like a mathematical assessment of it or whatever. He's intelligent, but he's also a kid.
Oh, that's a great detail. Oh, he's got a Mac Classic. I have one of those.
No kid, Spider-Man's one of his attributes, as far as I'm aware, is that he's super smart. He's one of the super smart people. He needs to use nerfed Spider-Man, and I like that they did. By the way, I love the fact that they've got a main hero that's a kid.
It's the weirder. I remember early on the Iron Man holograms bothering the crap out of me, and then by this point, I'm like, I think it was in Iron Man 2 when he builds the new element,
Oh god,
that I
that
was
seems
like,
so stupid.
I was like, oh, this is so
Somebody-
hokey and ridiculous.
Somebody screenshotted it, and the laser goes through one of like a random cable in the background, doesn't sever it, which would have like stopped the whole thing. And I was just like, oh, don't even bother.
You have
That seems stupid.
congratulations, sir. You have created a new element. But by this point in the MCU, I'm like, I don't care. He pulls out his phone and like it creates holograms that stop in midair.
This is
Okay.
another, if you rip this scene down to the dialogue alone, again, they're stuffing so much into this. Like,
Yeah,
their
there's a ton of
relationship
exposition.
already is starting to like. It's on a train. It's just like boom. Okay, so they got to know each other. They got to trust each other. Tony's been spying on him for a while. He's bringing him because he needs him to string up everybody. He's establishing that that's one of his power. It's like there's loads of things going on. If you I watched the Infinity War audio commentary because I'm obsessed with audio commentaries, and one of the writers, he said the first principle is character first, right? The second principle is make sure your scenes are never doing just one thing, never establishing just one.
Oh,
you know,
that's
like,
interesting.
connection or,
That's
like,
very
one
interesting.
point. He was like, make use. If you're ever only achieving one goal, then you need to shore up your real estate, basically. And I was just like, wow.
Can you even see in these?
Cool tidbit. When they were filming this, Tom Holland is supposed to sit on the other side of the bed when he sits down, but he sits in the wrong side. Iron Man's supposed to sit where Tom Holland is, according to the screenplay, and so unscriptedly, like wherever he's sitting right now. So Rob Downey Jr. walks up to him and says, "I'm going to sit here, so I want you to move." That's not in the script.
Ah,
Oh.
But it's great because it actually feels like it's Tony Stark saying that to a kid that he wants to get out of his way. It's like,
yeah, Holland's amazing, and he has just enough of a weird something.
these two, I don't know, man. Like, it's really easy to believe that these two have the connection that they bank on.
Yeah, and it's the reason I love Homecoming, and it's the reason a lot of people hate Homecoming is their relationship. And I'm like, wait a second,
I
love it.
I love
was-
Homecoming.
I was blissfully unaware of the hatred train.
A ton of people say like,
Yeah,
why is
yeah.
Iron Man in Homecoming? It's superfluous. It's garbage. Why is he
No,
in there?
it's
He
not.
doesn't need to be in there.
No,
And I'm like, it's
way.
so good. Peter doesn't have Peter doesn't have a father. It fits into Tony's father story. Like
He wants
it's
to correct the mistake
Ah,
that he made before.
yeah,
It's
and he
beautiful.
Stark, I don't
ends
feel
up
so
screwing
good.
it up. It's
It's-
so
it's insane.
good.
Yeah, there's a lot of hatred for Homecoming, and
I
a lot
love
of people
it.
in a lot of people in my Discord are like, "Why'd you rate this so highly?" And I was like, "What do you mean?
I genuinely love that film. And I think Tom Holland's an amazing actor. Like, he's
Not to
English
mention,
and he
if you
does the
guys-
accent really well.
By the
If
way,
you guys
Megan,
watch-
hold on. Megan in chat just says, "Oh, and by the way, I just turned 20, no longer a teenager. Happy birthday, Megan! If I'm misreading that, That's-
Welcome to adulthood. It's all
Well-
downhill from here. Wait, I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry.
no,
Ignore me.
no. There's really the key is there's really no such thing as adulthood.
Oh yeah.
Rewind enough time about the MCU. Do you guys remember the main criticisms being that plots are all the same? You always fight a world-ending monster. There's always a blue laser or an invasion army. The villains are completely one-dimensional. These things were happening in a lot of MCU movies, and the best things about the MCU movies are usually just
Yeah,
main characters
it
being
was
the
the
main
first
characters. Like, okay.
the first two
Spider-Man
rounds.
Homecoming is one of the first movies in the MCU that breaks all of those stereotypes.
Right.
The Vulture is a full-on villain. He's three-dimensional, and he exists in the world for a reason.
By
that
the way,
applies to the other Avengers films.
Sorry, I love that arrow wave around his head he just did for no
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, it looks
There's,
cool. I
more,
love.
I think
I really love if you think about this scene. That this is all by Clint's design. He's like, I'm gonna make it so that Vision attacks me, so that it'll make her sympathetic, because he knows he can't win. 'Cause
Well,
Vision
no.
can catch
He
up to him
thought they
anyway.
were gonna get away. Well,
No, there's no way they outrun Vision. He can fly. If you remember, he says, "I know."
that's
and,
interesting. I
Vision
like
says,
that
"Can't
take.
win."
So that means that Hawkeye is more.
He's trying to appear sympathetic.
Yeah,
to,
he's more
Scarlet
insightful
Witch right
here
now.
than he actually.
Yes, it does show like there's an angle to Hawkeye. A lot of people love Hawkeye. I like him.
I like Jeremy
Not sure I
Renner.
wanna know- yeah, I like Jeremy Renner, but I want a movie for Black Widow more than I do for Hawkeye.
Oh God, yeah. Scarlett Johansson has been wonderful. Also, what is it? 21 movies now without a
female movie?
yeah, without a Infinity
I'd
War
rather
was
not
movie
think about it
21.
that way, but yes, that's true.
It's no, you don't want to think about things statistically, but then when you look at the statistics, you go,
Yeah, I said it's
"That's
true.
insane."
I'm trying to think of it from a perspective of like, was there a prerogative to have a female movie? And I guess Black Widow would have been it. I don't understand why there hasn't been a Black Widow movie yet. I don't get it.
Yeah. There's a guy on YouTube.
I quite love his
who
little
made
speech to hear. By
There
the
was
way,
never stop being afraid of you.
It's great.
I love that. I can't control their fear, only
Oh,
my
so
own.
friend
That's
of mine
such a
said
beautiful
This
line.
scene is why I can't believe those two in Infinity War, that she practically killed him here. And I was like, you do realize she knew fully well that he would survive that.
He's an android. He
He's
didn't
not
care.
just an android. She made him more dense than like the heaviest of materials.
Yeah,
out there.
yeah. I'm
He's not going to get damaged. He's just going to be forced away.
Yeah, she's yeah. There's a million
But I
ways
feel
that
like-
scene
I feel
is.
like they see you as a super lore nerd as an answer. Do you see what I mean? They're
What do
like,
you mean?
Oh my god, you're being way too over the top. That's not in the movie. It's like,
Oh, you mean
no,
as a
it is in the
YouTuber?
movie. Like they look at you when you say that as the same way people look at you when you say like that doesn't make sense in Star Wars because the ships have proton celluloid plasmatasm.
Oh yeah.
Fuck. You know, it goes both ways. So they're like, oh, he's super dense, so it doesn't hurt him. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
No,
It's like,
I've
it
yeah.
does make sense.
I've had tons of criticisms or things that I mentioned in.
Wanda did kind of treat Vision like crap. I don't see it that way.
Sorry,
She
that
just
might
knocked him out.
be one of my favorite lines in the movie.
What one?
Can you move your seat up?
Oh right, yeah.
No.
By the way, YMS said it made no sense that Iron Man found all of Captain America's team at the airport. There's no reason that he would. Just before this scene starts up, she says, "Hey, Black Panther, do you want to, get some revengeisms?" And then Black Panther's like, "You know where they are?" And she's like, "No, but I know someone who does." And then it cuts to her, the blonde here. The film is trying to tell you that Black Widow knows the blonde girl likes Captain America, and she's following her. It's
okay.
visual storytelling is what I'm trying to say. Which, do you understand the objective is subjective thing, which quite frustrates me? So I'm like, YMS has made a mistake now.
I love the bro. Sorry, I love the bro. Not. I'm getting into the experience here, brother. I apologize.
Sharon Carter.
Repeat.
Okay, I did call her the blonde. I feel bad.
The blonde.
I didn't know her name. Yeah. So I'm gonna bring this up in my series, but Red Letter Media criticized Suicide Squad for saying that it made no sense that Harley Quinn had a phone. It comes out of nowhere. It makes no sense. There's a scene where a guy
Which
has
I
a phone.
didn't see Suicide Squad.
Oh well, it's okay. Because I remember watching the review and being like, but there was a scene. I hate the movie too. It's stupid, but they hand her a phone. And I was like, so they clearly missed that. And then they make an addendum a couple of days later saying, yeah, okay, there was a scene, but the film is still bad. And they had to say it because they used that as one of the reasons why the plot makes no sense. So, do you see what I mean? Like, they're using objective information to reach a just subjective conclusion. So they need to clarify that because that objective information was incorrect, their subjective conclusion is still the same way. So I feel like even they, at certain points, actually draw the line. I feel like everybody does, but only when it suits them. And that sounds very, very rude.
No, I think if. Sorry, I'm also getting swept up in the movie at the same time, and I've had a lot
I'm
of.
trying to get all my talking before the airport scene.
I've had a lot of a Canadian mist. I think the gist of what you're talking about is that people use arguments to support the opinion that they don't want to give up anyway. Sure, I agree. One of the things that just happened 10 minutes ago is you and I were having a conversation, and I said, I'm wrong. Yeah, there's a fundamental basis to my philosophy with anything, which is, if I'm wrong, I would like to find that out. And I think being a public figure, which you and I both are, you much more significantly than me, there develops this sort of ego armor where you don't want to, where you feel there's so many people looking that there's an embarrassment to admitting you're wrong. And part of the personality or the characteristic that I've tried to develop or lean into is that I'm vulnerable, I make mistakes, and I can be wrong. So that when I have a conversation with someone else, my ego isn't as much a part of it. It's always going to be a part of it, but it's not driven by the fact that there's people watching. I don't give a crap. There's like, if there's 1,000 people watching, I will say, yeah, I screwed up. My mistake. Like, I don't.
I mean,
I don't
I
care.
can cite a bunch of mistakes I've made.
Well, no, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like what you were talking about before, where like, I think that's a vulnerability with content creators. And when you have debates with content creators, you're running into that problem with them, where
they don't want to admit that they've made a mistake.
There's an audience. There's people watching.
Oh,
like,
well, yes, because that's genuinely how I feel about Just Right, and the fact that I Hate Everything doesn't want the conversation publicly posted definitely gives that impression. But that's just, I mean, that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Like, you know,
sure, absolutely.
I'm not saying they should be ashamed. I'm saying, oh, that's a little bit lame.
Yeah. Like the thing that it forgets is that at the end of the day, all of us creating content are people. And pause on all conversations about anything other than this scene.
All I want to do is point out signatures, though. So that was an Ant-Man signature.
That was an Ant-Man signature. It was so good.
We're gonna get loads in a row now. Like, Iron Man and flying isn't really a signature, so I'd let that one
Well,
go.
it's kind of a signature, but not really.
It's kind of, but it's low quality. So Cap's shield is obviously one.
Have you ever seen that really old movie, The Empire Strikes Back?
Oh shit, Black Panther's about to kick ass.
Ah.
Yeah, they both get to do the signatures to each other. And that's what the fights should be.
Oh,
Comic book. We just want to see this. This is all
the arc as he shrank going around her wrist was so cool.
Have you guys? I don't know if I'm being too nitty or if you actually have spotted it yourselves, but like where Spider-Man uses his spider sense in this scene.
Wait. Someone asked me what I. That is so awesome, dude. I love that he's reading the rights. The American police rights to Falcon.
Like, I find Black Panther quite scary to fight from this film. It's
yeah,
like, Jesus Christ, he's quick and he's
I mean,
he's gonna slash you to crap. But in the film, I was like, he's kind of lame.
No, my frustration with so much of the combat in Black Panther was what we've been talking about, what the Russos do really well, which is like grounded, gritty, realist.
Combined with what can this character do that no one else can?
Well, you and I might have a disagreement about the story. I don't know. I got so distracted by the cartooniness of Black Panther that it took me out of it.
Oh well, I mean that's a whole conversation on its own.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like that was a combo right there.
Multiple contusions detected
with Hawkeye, which is cool as well. We want to see combo moves from the heroes. Spider Sense. That is.
That is Spider Sense. That's beautiful.
Pointed out. It's so good.
Yeah, they don't highlight it. They don't say anything.
It's very subtle.
And like Spider-Man should dominate the fight, but he's a kid, so he's getting distracted.
He's a kid.
He's quite right. It's perfect. They've nerfed him the correct way, if you will, because
yeah, right, I mean, against
both of them,
against Falcon and a guy with a metal arm, he definitely would win.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, time to finish him off by just making sure I web them up completely and then move on. Just like, oh wait, what the fuck?
Wait. Oh.
Yeah, and like War Machine's signature doesn't really happen up until Ant-Man goes to throw the van at him, and he has the 3 machine guns at once that obliterates it before it hits him, which is great. War Machine is such a side character that he gets to have his own signature as well, which is what I want when you combine this many heroes at once. A lot of people complain about the color palette of this scene, by the way. What do you think about
The
that?
color palette? No. Wait,
So it's too muted. Everything's too.
It
Really?
looks a little dull to me.
huh?
I don't disagree with it, but it doesn't bother me, and I know that
No, it
I've
doesn't bother
told
me,
you that that
but it looks
doesn't.
a bit dull.
So I asked people to explain it in a way that sounds more like an error as opposed to a just how your eyes, feel
I
about
don't
it.
think it's an error. I think it's intentional. But,
Oh, it's
yeah,
absolutely intentional, but
it looks
it's
a
to
little
make it look
dull.
more realistic versus more colorful
Oh,
because you don't want
okay,
it.
right.
So, like, how do you feel about that? A lot of people don't like it.
I think it's because people are so used to these movies being very bright.
Well, they fix it up in Infinity War. Infinity War is brighter than Civil War.
Infinity War is more saturated.
That's sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Yeah, bright,
absolutely.
saturated.
Yeah, this is
You and
dimmed
your
down.
fancy terms.
No. But Infinity
Who's
War
right?
is cosmic, and I think that's been a distinction in the visual styling.
Oh,
The
yeah, Guardians is
Right.
Guardians is very saturated.
I think you actually might be right because the scenes on Earth aren't exactly colorful. I wouldn't describe them
Yeah.
as saturated. I think they might have maintained the cosmic versus. I love this bit, by the way. It's so good.
It's so
They split
fun.
these teams so well too to make it power level efficient. Because you realize as well the whole scene, Vision can't do anything really because his power is basically.
No, Vision would destroy everyone.
Yeah, so he's trying to.
Depends on how hard you hit me.
There's only one kill shot in this whole fight, by the way. Do you remember which one it is?
Kill shot?
Yeah, there's only one attempt to murder somebody in this entire scene.
No,
not-
it hasn't.
It's. This'll be it coming up.
Then why did you
I
run?
love Black Panther in this film.
Yeah, that's great.
We're nearly there. Oh yeah, here we go. Kill shot. Oh, taken away. So when people say this scene has no tension because nobody's trying to kill each other, that's one, wrong, and two, why the hell would they be trying to kill each other? They're
Exactly.
only
Why
14.
would half of the Avengers be trying to kill the other half of the Avengers?
It's made very clear that one team is trying to get somewhere and the other team is trying to stop them.
Yeah.
That's it. Also, I like this as well because Cap outsmarts being outsmarted, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And
Because, yeah, he's an intelligent character as well. He's got... The whole point of Cap is he's supposed to be a human...
parkour!
attribute at its max.
I need to get a
God, this is
mixer,
perfect as well.
so we're gonna have to pause, but not yet.
Wait, we have to pause.
No, not yet. We're not pausing in the middle of the airport scene. Are you insane?
Oh, that's another angle, by the way. I would totally argue this film makes me feel like a kid when I'm watching scenes like this.
No
Totally subjective.
Diggity says, I like when Hawkeye says, "Hi, I'm Clint," and Black Panther says, "I don't care." I absolutely agree. That is so badass. Black Panther is amazing in this movie.
Every moment of him in this film makes me want to see his movie, and then I saw his movie.
I don't know how I feel about Black Panther. I'm copping out.
I mean, I'm trying. Well, the reason I just said that was to try and give you an impression that I actually wanted a great.
Oh,
movie
no,
out of it
no,
because
I-
it's so cool.
I think that's good stuff. Did you mention that in your Black Panther review?
Yeah, I say at the end that near the end that somehow the Russos had like 1% of the time that they had, and yet they made him way fucking cooler.
Interesting.
It's certainly a less is more moment at the very least because you get to think about who and what Black Panther is with just
Well,
the information you have.
The Russos were, other than Winter Soldier, the Russos were tasked with the magic trick problem every time.
Oh, and as Sonic Rules just brought up, that's very true in the chat. And combine it with T'Challa's only an opportunist here. He's got one goal, and he's just picked the side that matches it in terms of efficiency.
Yeah, I
So
like that.
Who can get me to kill Winter Soldier the easiest?
I find Cap's corduroy hat kind of weird in this one.
Yeah.
The, like, rubber corduroy thing he's got going on.
Oh, and yeah, I was gonna say about the Ant-Man movie. I really do like the tiny, large screw around as they have.
Yeah,
Just with anything. It's just fun. I just like
it's
watching
very
what they
fun.
do.
That the whatever that style of photography is, where
Oh, tilt shift?
the tilt shift photography they just did there in those last couple of shots, is super fun.
I love the "Give me back my roadie." Such a little classic line, even though.
What's so
I would be
so
freaked out
so
by
here's
this.
the thing. Here's the only thing. It's Tiny Dude's big now. He's big now. It's so good. I mean, this is an amazing highlight of an amazing action sequence.
Wait, did he mute?
Sounds like it.
No, wait.
Ian, hello.
No, I didn't mute. I'm still here.
You said it's
Oh.
an amazing highlight of an amazing, and then you cut out.
But that's because I was watching the action sequence and I was
Oh,
like, it's
oh.
so amazing. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's all great. I was gonna say, is the War Machine signature coming? Yeah, I don't know if we've missed it. I just wanted to point out, it's like he does get his moment. It's okay.
Ant-Man and Spider-Man are the same, have the same issue, or rather, prerequisites and problems and solutions in this movie, right?
I think I know what you mean already, but like
And
you talk about, like they just brought in to get in the way.
Right. Paul Rudd appears in a van, and then we have this wonderful action sequence. Spider-Man is justified, grounded within the movie, emotionally. And that's kind of a problem for me, right? Like, hold on. I don't care. Sorry.
don't care.
Having any kind of like coherent discussion in the midst of the scene is impossible.
Oh, here we go. War Machine time.
He,
He's got so much
he
weaponry
digests
that he
that plane.
It's so cool. Because he's the only one out of all of them who can do that. Not even Iron Man can do that. And it's all because War Machine was like boosted by Justin Hammer in Iron Man 2, right? It was like all Americans.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Every gun inside him.
I'm gonna get this guy with the ex-wife.
Do you know, that's an actual.
That's
I
the
hate to
best
say this,
joke in
considering
Iron Man
conversation
2.
we've been having, but I fucking, from a nitpick standpoint, what the fuck was his plan to launch? He said it would level like a city block. He was
Right,
planning on
yeah.
firing it a meter in front of him.
He's firing a mini nuke in like 10 feet in front of him.
It's all for a joke, and it's a funny joke. But I was just like, what are you doing? If that had worked, you'd be dead. I love this. I don't even know what you'd call it.
The
like a
sonic
chain of
interference thing.
No, just like the chain of events. So he lasers their escape, she holds it up, and then War Machine nails her for doing that. It's like a link of actions from different characters who all have different motivations. Well, not it's two teams. This was
Good night, Pandian.
This is a surprise from Black Widow. It's definitely a lot to think about because a lot of people say like her thing in this fight, she just doesn't want them to be against each other. And so originally it was. Like,
I feel like it's kind of unmotivated.
Well, so this is the argument I've heard, which is her only goal is to prevent them from tearing apart. So originally she was like, let's pacify the team that's going crazy, and as she just said there, you're never going to.
You're
stop.
not going to
So her new
stop.
plan-
So
new
her
plan is
actual
let them
morality
complete
emerges?
their goal. No, it's let them complete their goal, and then we can repair the Avengers because I can't stop him. That was her original plan. Stop them, and then we can make sure the Avengers work. But she can't. He's going to do everything he can to get there. She knows Steve Rogers. His will is unbreakable. So let him do his thing, and then we'll repair the Avengers.
A Harlequin 31459 says, "Never catch you live. Love everything about your channel. Please keep it up." A Harlequin,
Welcome.
the streams we do with the Mediocre are not at all like anything published on the
No.
channel, but welcome. I hope you enjoy. I do need to get a mixer, but I don't know where the good break point is because something awesome is about to happen.
I also agree
Right.
with the general consensus in chat that Wanda is really hot.
Oh yeah, she's gorgeous. I'll drink for that. Sexual tension.
I think she's far more attractive than Black Widow, without a
I
doubt.
also think it's. Cool
I
that
just
she
realized I
has
didn't get the mixer, and that
mental-
was all straight Whiskey?
She has the mantle of the powerful Avenger. Do you know that?
She, based on what she did to Vision,
The
yeah,
reason she's
yeah.
above Vision is because she can beat Vision.
She did. She absolutely did.
The thing is, she's a glass cannon. If someone could easily kill her with a knife to the brain, but if she sees you coming, she'll just crush you into a little ball.
Yeah.
I love this movie. And here we come. Now, I'll drink for this once I go and get in the mixer, which we're going to do after we pause for
We'll
the
pause
coming
once the
section.
scene ends, is it?
We're pausing post the Buffy relevant section for this.
Oh,
Which I've
that's
tweeted
gonna be, that's
about.
gonna be a good 10 minutes about from now, I think.
It's not 10. I don't know if it's 10 minutes away.
We got this scene, then we got the scene between.
Is
Tony
this
and-
explained? Is this explained?
What do you mean?
So he misses and hits War Machine, and then
He didn't
Tony's.
technically miss. It was more of a
Tony-
Falcon, you know.
Tony says to him, "I thought you didn't get distracted or whatever," and he says, "I thought I
Yeah.
did too." Right?
Yeah, it's the thing is, it was on point, but Falcon went out of the way, so it was less Vision's fault, more Falcon's fault.
Oh,
thing
that
is-
thud! No sound, no
it was
music.
A lot of people, by the way, talk about tone. A lot of people I watch this with find it funny when Iron Man blasts Falcon away. I find it very
It's so shocking. It's so
It's like
brutal.
he's dealing with this emotionally. Get the fuck out of my way.
It's
for a moment.
so brutal. It's unusually brutal for Tony.
Yeah, he's like, get the fuck out of here. But a lot
Oh,
of people
I love that
it.
moment.
was
I
like, how
love
is
that
supposed to
moment.
be a joke? It's not supposed to be a joke.
The I think the brutality, the violence is the Russo thing we were talking about, and that is just nailed there.
And just to clarify, you're okay with mechanically why that happened, right? Because a lot of people say like, oh, so he's sad that it hurts Thingy instead of killing Falcon. It's like it wouldn't have killed Falcon.
No.
You do get that, right?
Yeah,
A lot of people
yeah,
notice that. There's a line. It says, "Turn him into a glider." That's all you need.
There's a Buffy relevant story in this movie. There's a Buffy relevant sequence in this movie. It's not Buffy relevant. It's Angel relevant. One of the issues with Angel, there's a premise with Angel that you have to accept, which is that Angel seeks retribution, even though he didn't have a soul when he did all those horrible things. And here we go. What's going to happen if you're not in sync? What's going to happen with your friends? I don't know if I'm worth all this, Steve. And Steve says, what you did all those years ago, it wasn't you. You didn't have a choice. I know,
Oh.
but I did it. And that is Angel.
Yeah, that's it.
That is Angel.
definitely.
That is the whole emotional crisis. The emotional crisis is irrelevant of our perception of soul, conscience, whatever. Like, he is an emotionally driven character based
Oh,
on
should we pause?
not yet. No, it's fine. I'll get a mixer in a second. It's fine. Yeah, we can pause this.
I was gonna say as well. Do you think this is made better
Are
if
we
War
pausing
Machine
now?
had?
No, not yet.
A lot of people argue that if War Machine had died, it would have made it a lot more
No.
impactful.
No.
I feel like keeping War Machine around is a little bit like just why not from the writers, because War Machine doesn't really function as anything. He's sort of just, you know, like he was important to the Iron Man storyline because he was Tony's foil in a way.
There's a throw-in problem with these movies, right? Like Hulk in Ragnarok or War Machine in this one. And if they had killed him in this movie, it would have been kind of cheap. Like,
See, a lot of it, I feel like I'm on your team for this, but a lot of people feel like it was cheap because they didn't kill him.
all right, we're gonna pause in 5, 4, 3,
I was
2,
already paused.
1. Drink drink pause. All right, I have to get a mixer.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the toilet.
Alright, dude.
I will be right back. Everyone, hold on 1 second. I apologize. I just didn't plan for this enough. We will be right back. Yeah.
So, looks like it's just me. How are we, chat? Are we all having fun? Hi, Boris. It's a good Saturday afternoon here.
I am back.
Hi there.
I was gonna say, I saw a comment in chat that I just thought about in my travel.
Right.
I'm so sorry,
They said,
everyone.
Killing War Machine would mean that one side is irrevocably demonized. Initially, I was like, true. Then I was like, wait, no. It's not really, because the point is that it's both teams are responsible. For the first point is that they're in a fight, which is both teams responsible. But Vision fired the blast, Falcon made the blast hit War Machine, so it's both teams would be the cause of the inciting result. So I wouldn't say it demonizes either side. The point of it, I imagine, was to make War Machine actually against the government, which is what happens in Infinity War. He basically says, I've decided that I'm not with the Accords anymore.
The government conversation, though, becomes pretty irrelevant pretty quickly in Infinity War.
They kept it in. I appreciate them for having it.
No, absolutely. Civil War is so well done that you had to have lip service to it of some sort. But it's literally...
There's a lot in Ant-Man and the Wasp was a lot of Civil War.
Yeah, that's true. But, well, I can't talk about that one without spoiling stuff. But in Infinity War, it did feel like lip service to me. Like,
what does that mean?
You're talking about the level of spectacle and the battle and all of that was so significant in Infinity War that everything that Civil War hinged on was resolved in one scene. So lip service is talking about, like, okay, now it's addressed, you know.
But what would you have done instead?
I don't know what I would have done instead. I'm just saying...
The issue was they couldn't ignore it, but they also have, like, no time.
Megan says...
You saw what happens, right? Like, it's summed up really quickly in the film. He says that, do you think... It's almost like he's speaking for the meta of the film. What's his name? Ross says, just because the world's on fire, did you think we were going to forget about what's happened? And then, you know, Cap basically says, we don't care if the world's about to be destroyed, get out of the way.
I'm not necessarily saying that there was a better way of addressing it. I'm saying that it's still it's a problem nonetheless. Like whether you're talking about
over, though.
That would be awesome. But whether or not you're talking about,
I hope it's not over.
We can't talk about Ant-Man, but we're like specifically in relation to Civil War and this one, like the de-escalation of the significance of that conversation. Like, because of what Thanos represents, it de-escalated the importance of that conversation.
He makes that problem small by existing.
Yeah.
So until he's gone, it won't be a big problem. That's the only reason Civil War happens, is because there's no bigger problems right now. These are small problems compared to a supervillain trying to destroy the world, isn't it?
Sorry,
Which is kind of the point that Ross makes.
I got distracted for a moment, which is my privilege on my YouTube channel. Omar says it's 9:42 a.m. Wow. Do you guys want to unpause? Where I'm at 1:48:31.
Oh, I'm gonna need a bit of. Give me a
Yeah,
second.
that's exactly where I am.
I
All
just
right.
need to
Jack and I are synced.
31 seconds, right?
1:48:31.
Yeah, I'll be there in a sec. Just
Count us down.
nearly there. But yeah, I don't know what. The only thing you could expect is that the government get involved during one of the fights, but the fights take place in Wakanda, where the government doesn't actually know exists. So what we could expect at the beginning of Infinity War 2 is that the government turn up at Wakanda, being like, "We've had loads of explosive signals. Also, here's the Avengers," and something might happen. But I think that they're in it as much as they would be realistically in Infinity War, from the locations we end up seeing. Because if you remember, they immediately say we have to get out of the Avengers headquarters because Ross is going to be coming here soon.
What's interesting? Well, I'll wait. 1:48:31.
Just quickly, I saw Megan asked when I'm coming to the States. I'm still working on the passport. It's proving to be more difficult than I thought it was going to be, but it's happening. We're just not sure exactly when, but hopefully this year. And I'm ready to go whenever you guys are.
Yeah, ready.
All right, unpausing in 3, 2, 1. Unpause.
So this is the point in the film, by the way, that a lot of people cite is, see, Iron Man realizes he was wrong. It's not that, though.
Oh, I was like, where's my sound? The weird necessity of not having to broadcast sound, or rather, having to not broadcast sound into the chat. Hold on, guys.
Oh yeah, Broussard, the guy who's killed so that Zemo can take his place. That's the Russo brothers.
Jack comes for Christmas, says Boris.
My mother would kill me if I did that, but we'll see. No, my mom loves me to go home for Christmas, so... But we'll see.
Look at it done, Jack.
Yeah.
The Mageninator says, with the stakes raised so much in Infinity War, I have a hard time believing we will be focusing on this comparatively minor debate.
Oh, this debate's done. It's over.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the repercussions. So the government becoming after Steve. I wonder if that's going to play a part in part 2.
Yeah, I wonder.
It might do. It might not. You can do it in both of them. You just have to make it reasonable. Like I said, there's no reason why the government would have turned up in part 1 because they went to Wakanda. It's like the government aren't aware of it, aside from what's his name, Bilbo.
Yeah.
Bilbo?
I wish Martin Freeman played a much greater part. I love that dude.
Same for Andy Serkis. He was insulting what happened to his character.
He was so
Boring.
much. He was, well, I think it was so much fun in Black Panther in that,
He was. That's
like in the Jack Nicholson Batman sort of way.
Yeah,
and
he's crazy.
Yeah, and then he goes away. Oh, spoiler.
Well, I was going to
Darn
say,
it.
it is something people point out is what the hell's he even doing in that film if you consider that Ultron made him a trillionaire.
No, that's a good point.
Well, as we just said, he is crazy. I wonder if that's going to be the cop-out excuse.
Jack,
Yes.
are you awake?
Yes, I'm here. Hello. Greetings.
We miss you,
I'm
buddy.
still here.
Actually, more awake than me and you.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've been awake since 4 a.m., so I don't know about that.
How
I
long
woke
ago
up.
was that?
Well, it's currently it's almost 4 p.m. So, what?
12 hours.
That's 12 hours. Yeah. I went to bed kind of early, but I thought I'd sleep longer, but I didn't. I woke up and
me and
I
Ian
couldn't sleep.
have more than certainly been more than awake for more than 20 hours, I would guess.
I took an Ambien at 11 p.m. and woke up at 2 a.m. and have been awake since. Anxiety is awesome.
This is all
Gotta
great to
love
talk over, by the
anxiety.
way, because not much stuff happens yet.
Oh yeah. No, this is a good part to talk over.
See, this is the part where the movie starts to drag for me.
No.
No,
Important stuff.
All right. No, that's it.
Well, no, not at all. So this is the
Are you
raft.
kidding me? It's
This is a
when
comic
Jack
book
breaks
reference.
down, he's like, I understand that Steve was right and that this thing needs to be stopped. Because it's the idea that there's about to be 5 Winter Soldiers released off the planet,
No.
so Tony's sympathetic. That is literally what happens.
I don't agree.
That is literally what happens. Watch the
I
scene. Tony's
no. The what caused his breakdown was the evidence provided in the helicopter, and the entire raft sequence is sort of comic book fandomism, and I like it. I enjoy the raft
I
sequence,
guess I agree with that.
but
I mean,
it's
you have
but
to
it
have
is
this, you have to
slow.
talk to them.
No,
You get good interactions between. You get Clint accusing him of being the futurist, is obviously a reference,
yeah,
and then him arguing his case, which I think Tony is right, by the way, where he says like, "You guys
you're a
made the
criminal.
decisions.
You broke the law.
They made the
Literally,
decisions.
you broke the
They
law.
did what they did to themselves. It's not Tony's fault."
It is interesting.
And then you got the amazing interaction between Ant-Man and Iron Man, which is informed by their.
Who are you again?
characters entirely. I love it, yeah, because we know from Ant-Man, if we're going to treat this as super nerdy, that Hank Pym would have taught him to hate Starks. So he's like, never trust a Stark. And he's like, who are you?
Who are you again?
It's great. And then yeah, the one person who's going to be
No,
completely
that
being
interaction is
Falcon.
gorgeous.
Megan says, I still haven't seen Doctor Strange. Megan, you should. I love it. A lot of people don't, but I love that movie. I think it's great.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with. By the way, I was just kidding that anyone can find the film boring or slow in any part of it. But as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned, there's shit tons of arguments to be made for all of the important elements
Yeah.
of dialogue for everything. There's always
yeah,
a purpose
don't-
behind all of the things that are happening.
Yeah, I don't think it's unimportant. I don't know. I just felt like it slowed down. And I kind of felt like I was just waiting for the end, for the final.
It is subjective, but a pacing argument would be made of we just had a super bombastic scene, and this is a characters talk to each other scene. So it's like
Yeah.
we get
yeah.
to slow down for a bit before we speed
True.
back up again.
Quibbly,
Yeah,
it looks like
yeah,
just
that's
joined.
bad.
Quibbly says, I can't see what's happening in the movie at all. Are the copyrights bots so bad? Yeah, Quibbly, generally speaking,
Exactly what the
they're
problem is.
they're abysmal, and so we set this up so if you want to, you can watch the movie along with us, or just listen to us drunkenly gab, which sounds
And
amazing.
Because we're getting
Thanks.
closer and closer to the scene where we won't be allowed to.
Yeah. And Quibbly asks, what is a segue, by the way, into the unmentionable? And Casey Lane says, where they segue into a conversation about something unmentionable.
Which happens more often.
Which has happened like 5 times, 6 times this movie.
A lot of times. Too easy.
And Boris, thanks for having my back. Not a lot of people do, so thanks.
Yeah, well, I think we made some progress with Doctor Strange. Like I said, I like it more than I did.
You
I
seem to
still
enjoy it more,
find.
yeah.
I still.
I don't
find
need
it has-
I don't need to dump
a lot
on
of
Doctor
issues.
Strange.
And
I mean-
Ian, we proved you wrong big time. There was a choice.
What? When? How dare you? You never. What are we talking about?
So when the three of us were discussing Doctor Strange, you said that there was a missing
Don't do this
element
publicly, Jack.
where.
Don't do it publicly.
All right, then I won't.
I'm kidding. I'm sure Ian can
No.
weather it.
You can tell me about it afterwards.
No. I
Look,
want to
it
do
was
now.
literally just the decision. Did Doctor Strange make a decision to become a hero instead of selfishly choosing to fix his hands? And there is a scene that does that.
Yeah.
One
The
criticism
Dormammu
I
strain.
have-
The Dormammu
and
scene.
No. It's the scene with the Master when she's in her ghost form.
Nah, that scene's garbage. I
Guys.
disagree.
And this is the thing, you probably forgot it, and that's absolutely fine. I have of it, Jack, that I meant to tell you was, I was thinking about it. Doctor Strange's decision is, on one hand, to take the magic and fix his hands and become the world-renowned surgeon and do it all for his own selfish gain. Fine.
Right.
Or decision 2, become Doctor Strange and defend the world against the incoming threat of Dormammu. Which to me,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so the decision is defend the world from this dimension-consuming monster, or don't defend the world against a dimension-consuming monster, resulting in the consumption of your
I
dimension.
I don't think it's that black and white.
No,
I
I
don't-
think he makes a choice. However, if you really think about it, he doesn't really have a choice because it's live or
Well,
die.
yeah, but he still chooses. Like
He does.
he could have said someone else do it. You know, I'm in a world
no,
full of
that's I would agree
superheroes.
with you, but it is an interesting thing to think about, right? Like,
Hmm.
do you choose to fight this monster or not? And it's like, I do. And it's like, yeah, well,
Yeah,
you
well,
didn't.
because he's got the power and the strength to actually do it. So yeah.
Because, yeah, don't forget, he's got the time thing too, which makes him like the most OP sorcerer.
Hmm. Yeah.
He could. Defrosted Robo said he wasn't able to fix his hands, I believe. No, he definitely had the choice. I think she even says you could fix your hands or something like that.
But yeah, I just love that film, and I make no apologies for it. I love it.
I think it's okay.
It's definitely like if we had 3 tiers for MCU
put it in
films,
tier 2.
it'd been. I'd put it in tier 1.
Yeah, I'm happy with tier 2. In fairness, I only have a few in tier 1, which is like Avengers, Civil War, Infinity War. Already running out.
I'd put in tier 1. I'd put Infinity War. I'd put Ragnarok in there. I'd put Winter Soldier, Civil War.
Manchurian
Homecoming.
Candidate, you're killing me.
Which is another detail a lot of people miss.
Ah, I love
Man
it.
is fully aware that he's been brainwashed.
He's fully aware that he's been brainwashed.
It's,
We gotta
it almost
hold.
feels like it almost feels sad to explain, but it's like when you find out that someone's killed your parents.
You don't have a good
share
choice, but you have a
circumstances.
choice. I love that's. Casey Lynn, that informs the entire Buffyverse to me.
That's actually cool. That's like what I just described about Doctor Strange. They're saying is like the reverse of what
Yeah.
Buffy tells Ford.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you pretty much have one choice, but you still have a choice.
You still
Yeah.
have a choice.
Yeah.
Not a good choice, but it's still a choice.
Not a good choice, but you have a choice.
Oh, I said Buffy drink.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's fair.
But yeah, you know, again with the whole, I happily signpost it. Subjectively, I was like, in this scene, there was no separation between.
This
me and
I totally did not know what was going on. Did you really think I wanted more of you? I had no idea what they were doing.
I had 100% investment because I was like, oh god.
Oh, I was totally in. I was like,
Oh well, what I'm saying is like I understood he killed the Winter Soldiers, which means Zemo has a different plan. I was like, what is the different plan? And then when the video starts playing, like it felt like the screen was getting closer and closer to my eyes. So I was like, something's about to happen, but I can't. Oh wait. Oh god, I recognize how it stopped. Oh god. Oh no.
yeah. As soon as you see the car, you're like,
Oh wait, yeah. When he
Yeah.
says he wants to see an empire fall, this is why I like Zemo's more of a villain than an antagonist because we were talking about the definition earlier.
Yeah.
Zemo doesn't think of himself as a good guy in what he's doing. He's like, I want you guys to suffer. I want to rip you apart. There's no. I don't think he's justifying. it with good
Yeah, I
action.
think that would be vengeance versus philosophy. If Zemo's not adhering to a philosophy. He's seeking vengeance.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he wants to die as soon as he does this as well. That's
Yeah.
Because he's lost everything. And this is, again, I feel like Zemo and Vulture were two responses to the villains being pathetically bad in the MCU. Zemo was created by the other films.
I love
That's why I love
the way Cap said, "You lost someone," and he said it
Yeah.
with empathy and compassion.
Oh, you gotta love Cap.
I love Cap so much.
Oh, he's
I
playing the movie.
definitely-
Oh, no, he's playing it.
He made her a tape.
That's a drink.
That's a drink. That's a
Yeah,
reference.
seriously, Daddy Jr., you cannot praise him enough for the acting in this scene. Every single look.
Yeah.
No, it's so
He knows the
muted
tape.
until it breaks. Once the dam breaks, but
No, man, there's loads of subtleties in what he's doing right now.
no, it's gorgeous. It's good. It's so good. What is this?
The date and time, he knows it because of how much he cares about this moment in his history. This is when he lost his parents. He knows that fucking date.
The VHS footage all looks so legitimate and beautiful. They obviously shot it.
I wonder if that look was Captain America being like, "Why does Iron Man care so much about?"
Oh
this?"
no,
And
no,
he
it was
realized
it was like, I think it was, what do I do?
But
it might be, because I'm not sure if Cap knows what's happening right now. If he hasn't grasped it yet, he would have grasped it now, especially with. Oh God, look at how fucking angry he's getting already. He knows how this is gonna end.
Oh, it's so good.
But isn't this a kind of an angel and Angelus sort of thing? Because
Of course it
Bucky's
is.
not. Yeah, like
100%.
Bucky's not in
Iron Man doesn't
control
care.
here.
Just like how many characters don't give a shit about that in Angel?
Well, yeah, true. Yeah.
Iron Man doesn't give a shit. Bucky did this.
Oh, it's
So tragic, and they don't hold back. He beat the dad to death. And
the thing
strangled
is,
the
like,
mother.
whatever your criticism of comic book movies, or like they're factory produced, or the action movies, or whatever, this scene is singular and unique and arresting.
I think this kind of transcends the limits of the superhero.
Oh,
criteria.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
it's a superhero movie. I'm just like this.
Hold on,
is-
hold on. Ah, so good.
As far as Iron Man's concerned, Captain America's not his friend anymore.
One thing I wanted to say before was
Yeah,
that
Jack.
about the whole superhero movies being all the same thing. There's a YouTuber who goes by Bearded Truth, I think, and
Yeah.
he made a video. Callum, I think I told you about this.
I thought I
He
told
made a
you
video-
about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Infinity War
I-
one. He picked the worst movie to make the standard criticism on.
Yeah, well, he pretty much says his argument was that he isn't seeing it because he's already seen it, but because they're
Yeah.
all the same. Yeah, and I
and this
could have
is the
sworn
thing.
I told you, but anyway, yeah. It doesn't
Maybe
matter.
you might have. I can't quite remember. I thought I got told by Wolf, so I don't know. But I'm assuming this will support what you're saying, which is there are some movies in the MCU that you could group together and say this is basically the same experience, but Civil War,
Sure.
Infinity War, and a selection of others, they are unique
Oh,
experiences.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, it was a terrible example, but yeah.
Oh, and can I just comment on? I can't wait to deconstruct this scene. How the Russos nerf Iron Man throughout this scene, because he would dominate these two normally, but
Yeah.
he gets a lot of his tools broken as the scene goes on in reasonable ways, because he's tunnel visioning right now. He's like, go for Bucky, but he keeps making mistakes along the way.
Right.
that keep costing him all of
What's
his tools.
amazing? What's amazing? This is all so captivating at this point, but the most affecting line in all of the MCU hasn't
coming up?
is coming up. It
There's
has
another line that I adore that I'll preempt. It's when I mean, I'm going to ask for silence, but when Iron Man grabs Bucky.
All right, here we go.
it's-
Oh yeah, grabs Bucky.
Oh yeah. It's after he's knocked
But
him down from.
we
we
both
got
know
Nelson.
we both know what's up. This but that's the thing. It's like this movie contains the densest, most rich emotional moments in the MCU, and that's the thing. Like when people talk about like, okay, well, Civil War, like Ant-Man kind of appears from nowhere and yada yada yada.
We got it. Oh, it's an absolute clash of two good characters.
Ooh, wow.
That's what I love about it. Both of them are right. Both of them are absolutely valid.
I
in what they
remember
feel.
all of them.
all of them. It's just like Angelus as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exactly the same. So,
Bucky
like,
is
I
Angel.
don't
Shit,
blame
shit,
Bucky.
we gotta shut up. We gotta shut up.
I just don't blame Bucky. I really don't. Wow.
Most emotional thing you'll ever hear from Tony Stark.
It's so good.
Another thing to clarify, Jack. Bucky's
Yeah.
completely in the right. He's innocent. That doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Oh, and this shit from the trailer. This is what got me to see this film.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I had to see how they got to this point.
so
love this
good.
so goddamn much. And it's because I'm such a big fan of both the arcs and how they clash. I seriously think it's something impressive for both how Iron Man and Captain America both start in positions A and A, end up in positions Z and Z, and they both clash directly.
And
Over a
arm
completely
gone.
different thing. Yeah, that's the music helps this scene as well.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I love the drama of him screaming into Tony's arc light,
Yeah.
and then the arc light blows up in his face, and his arm is
We also
gone.
get an arc for Black
and
Panther
then
in this film, unlike the Black Panther movie.
And then here's a character moment again.
Mm-hmm. The cinematic real estate. I'll just keep saying that. I guess just they keep taking full advantage of the few seconds they have. What's interesting, if you remember Breaking Bad, Jesse keeps listening to the answering machine for Jane.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They went home.
They went home.
Wow.
I love the
slow
putting it
motion.
over this fight as well.
Yeah.
Just how Zemo managed to absolutely destroy them.
I love this movie.
And I just think that it's executed better than the emotional payoffs in Infinity War. That's the only bias I would say I have to picking it over it.
Well, I can't mount an argument. I haven't seen. I haven't thought about Infinity War that way. Tell that to the dead.
There's too much to love in this film.
That's such a good line. Justice will come soon enough. Tell that to the dead.
I like as well that the idea that
This is dumb though. This is dumb. Analyze his fight pattern.
Why was that dumb?
Yeah. Well, he's a human being.
Why didn't you analyze his fight pattern 20 minutes ago?
Whoa. Captain America has a fighting style. Every single human does.
I guess, but
Captain
he can still
Iron
change
Man.
it up.
They've been fighting for 20 minutes.
Iron Man's been winning.
Oh, yeah, wait. We missed one of
No, not yet. It's still
the
coming.
marquee lines.
Oh well,
He's my friend Tony. So was I.
Yeah, that's great.
So good.
Yeah, Iron Man was only losing the fight that one moment.
I can do this all day.
Oh, that's a throwback to
All the Cap movies.
yeah.
Oof, and I remember in the cinema, I actually thought he was going to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his eyes.
Dude, they're both at their wits' end at that moment.
It's so good.
Brian Wingasson donated $2.
Oh.
Thank you, Brian.
Cheers, Brian. Thank you. Sorry. I'm very swept up in
By the way,
Civil War.
Everybody's been depowered now. Captain America's been beaten to shit. Iron Man's not got his suit. Winter Soldier's lost his arm. All they can do is absorb the atmosphere.
No.
That's it.
And not everyone has been completely depowered yet.
Oh, you mean dropping the shield?
Yep. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
final.
I would agree with that. That's quite a line as well. You don't deserve it.
My father made that shield. And you know what? That matters in the MCU. That's unique.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we've seen it. My father made that shield. We saw him give the shield to Tony. To Cap.
I can't help but feel like, because this is totally inference, but Tony could have healed his relationship with his dad if Bucky hadn't killed him.
Right.
And he just sees it all as like, you know, because this is totally like, I'm getting armchair psychologist, but I see it as Tony as being like, you stole my family from me. It's, I mean, oh, she's so powerful. Because Bucky didn't have a choice. He was brainwashed.
Exactly.
I love Martin Freeman so much. I
Yeah,
want
he's
to
extremely
I
charismatic.
want to marry Martin Freeman.
You can only marry him or Chris Evans. You can't have both.
I'll stick with Elizabeth Olsen myself.
Fine, I'll have Scarlett
Although-
Johansson.
Chris Evans is very tempting.
One of the very common criticisms this film got as well was that there was no permanent repercussions, that everything kind of went back to normal. Do you not find that really bizarre, considering how this film ends?
What? Like,
See, I say that to you guys, and I'm like, yeah, they react like normal people. Because I don't understand. It's like, what do you mean everything is fucking destroyed?
everything's different.
This has more impact than both Avengers films
And
before it.
like, what? So, what are the movies that have repercussions from this? Ant-Man definitely has the whole movie is based on
Yeah,
what
I mean,
happens in this
I don't think
movie.
it's a spoiler to say that Civil War is brought up like 7 different times in Ant-Man vs. the Wasp, or Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like, and it makes for really good conversations because there's loads of baggage thanks to Civil War between the characters.
And Infinity War has a ton, is based on repercussions from this movie.
Well, a lot of people
It's-
say that if not for Civil War, Thanos would have lost because they would have all been together.
No.
No, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, no.
Well, you'd
Every-
be wrong,
but-
because
but-
look how
but-
close they came to beating Thanos on Titan.
No,
If
you
every
just
Avenger was there.
you just have to decide if each movie, the degree to which each movie is grounded. Is this movie grounded in the fiction that came before? Very much so. Absolutely.
If the Avengers were a team, they would have beaten Thanos.
Are you Tony Stank?
Wait, I'm confused. Do you guys not agree with that? You think that Civil War doesn't matter to Thanos' victory?
No, it absolutely, like, the whole series matters to Thanos'
Yeah, I
victory.
agree with that, but the Avengers are in kind of 3 teams when Thanos is attacking them. When they would have been together, they would have been in
Well,
one location. They would have been one unit to take out
I
Thanos.
still think he would have found a way to win.
yeah.
Okay, but with what we got in the movie, Thanos was seconds away from being defeated. If
Yeah.
the other
No,
half
he
of
was.
the Avengers were there, imagine how much victorious they would have been.
If it wasn't for Star-Lord and his Starfields.
I
But
don't know
Starfields would have
about
been
that.
stopped if the other half of the Avengers were there.
And the other,
There's a lot of things that change if the Avengers aren't broken up, is what I'm saying.
the other thing too is like Star-Lord's reaction is justified and understood in the bubble gun earlier when Thanos says, "I like him."
I've
That's-
said it before, but that
Wait,
scene
hang on.
bothered
What do you
me at
mean by that?
first.
What do you mean by the bubblegum thing?
Wait, we're at the end.
Well, I mean, you can talk over this.
Oh no, I can. But we did it.
We did do it. Well, we let it run. It's not like we achieved something.
Yeah, no, it's true. We
made
managed
it
to
pretty
sit
clear
through
between
a
all
movie
of
that all 3 of us love and enjoy. We did it, boys.
We did.
Yeah.
It was wild.
I'll drink to that, I guess.
All right, here's what I propose. Let's end this stream and then watch
Right.
Winter Soldier together.
All right, I'm
Wait,
down.
Wait, You really want to do it off stream when you suggest it?
No, we're doing it off stream.
I guarantee you, a bunch of people in your chat are going to be outraged.
Yeah, but they always are whenever we end.
So is there is there a stinger to this one?
There always is,
must
isn't
be.
there?
Yeah, I was going to say there is no movie without
I'm trying to
one.
remember.
Also, does it have to be Civil War or Winter Soldier? I'm not saying I don't want.
No,
Winter Soldier
I
to vote.
want. Well, we'll talk
really
about it
wanna
off
watch
stream.
Winter Soldier myself.
All right. I'll join.
Oh, it's Spider-Man.
Because I would pick Infinity War personally, but it's still up to you guys.
I don't have an Infinity War I don't have the Blu-ray of Infinity War in order to watch and have the whole thing.
To acquire the Blu-ray.
Yes, but it would destroy the stream while I did.
I thought you didn't want to stream it.
That's what I said.
Oh,
You
you said
guys-
what?
I'm so confused. I'm just gonna smile and nod, and whatever happens, happens. That's my
Alright,
plan.
I will happily accept Winter Soldier, but I think you should maintain the stream. If
I love Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love it
saying-
too.
I reckon. I think you
I
should.
like it more.
What's your vote, Jack? Do you think you should maintain the stream?
I don't know.
Oh, I love this.
Alright,
That's really
What's the
beautiful.
negative?
I'm honestly fine either way. I don't mind. Like we can stay on stream.
I like the chat interaction. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, does it really matter if we?
Bye, Quibbly. Thanks for hanging out.
Does it matter?
You're
either
getting
way?
married tomorrow? Holy crap! Congratulations! That
Yeah.
is so much more important than any of this.
Yeah.
Congratulations! That is awesome.
Megan demands to be included.
Yeah. See.
Well, okay. Well, we'll figure something
All
out,
right,
maybe.
all right, we're doing it on stream then. All right, it's decided.
That's
Thanks, Megan.
No. We should watch Black Panther. That's what we should watch.
I
But we
don't
wouldn't give you the
currently
fair
have
chance
Black
because you'll be
Panther.
talking over it.
I don't have it. I don't know.
I mean, like I said, I'm okay with some Winter Soldier. You guys seem pretty on board with that. I just
I'm-
request that it's streamed.
I'm okay with either Infinity War or Winter Soldier. I don't mind either way. I'm fine. Why didn't they freeze Bucky?
Hi,
before?
Ponder.
I don't know. So what are we
Captain
doing?
America.
No, I'm still
Inexplicably
watching the
unavailable
outro.
Black Panther.
Jeez.
Oh, okay. See, I skipped ahead.
Genuinely.
Ah,
after
you
this thing around
paused
the
it.
movie, I was like, Black Panther movie, let's go. That's gonna be great.
All right, I'm pausing the whole thing. So, partly we're subject to what I have locally,
Yes, which is
I
Winter
said
Soldier.
I'm okay with Winter Soldier.
as opposed to buying stuff on iTunes
That isn't on sale yet.
with
I
the
mean, what?
stuff and the things and the iTunes.
What? If there was a way to get Infinity War for all of us, I would totally suggest watching that. 'Cause it's just gonna be fucking great. But if you guys would rather just go with Winter Soldier, I'm okay with that too.
All right, hold on. Hold on. Jeez. I am breaking everything. All right. So let me see.
I never would have thought back in the day that my favorite MCU movie would be a Captain America film.
It's
I would've-
so good.
I would have been
See,
like,
It's
"What do you
so
mean it's a Captain
good!"
America film?"
I absolutely adore Captain America in the MCU. Like Chris Evans is great.
I
but
gotta be honest. I didn't like him up until Civil War, and then I rewatched the whole thing, and I was like, actually, I really like him.
But see, I don't.
I got put off by the patriotism aspect, even though it's not really that.
Well, that's kind of the thing,
well, that's
right?
what I'm about to say. That's what I was gonna say. I don't really like Captain America overall as a character because it just seems like nationalist propaganda, and I just don't like nationalism at all. And
But-
just to be clear,
Well,
that's not an anti-American thing. I would have just as big of a problem with Captain Australia or Captain
well,
UK.
yeah, no, I agree. But isn't the point of him that he realizes that shit is stupid?
Well, yeah,
he's
true,
like,
but
"I
we're
shouldn't-"
talking.
Like, I don't sign up to collectives. I sign up to people.
Well, yeah, but we're talking about the MCU. I'm talking about him just as a character, overall,
Yeah, no,
comics, cartoons, whatever.
That's kind of my arc with him. Was I was like, I don't care about Mister. My country's the best. Like, go away. But then his arc in the MCU is like, I fight for collectives. I shouldn't fight for collectives.
Exactly, and that's why I love him in the MCU.
Yeah.
It's great.
Like, because half the time, with how good the arcs for Iron Man and Captain America crossing over each other and then clashing with each other is so good. Sometimes I'm like, was that an accident? Did they know they were doing this well? It's like, how did this work out so good?
Yeah.
All right,
Have you
so
played, by the way,
issue.
those
I don't have the Winter Soldier or Infinity
Oh.
War.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, no,
interesting.
neither. So,
What have you got?
what's? I think we're kind of limited by. I've got all of them, so it's you two. What? How many of you got, Jack? Is it just 3 or is it more than that?
I've got the 3 Cap movies. I've got Homecoming. I've got Doctor Strange.
We could watch Homecoming. I don't know about that.
I've got Guardians 2.
Well-
Genuinely, I'm on board with any of them because I just don't like talking to you guys about it. It's not like we're limited to the movie we're watching, are we?
Right. I have Scrubs season 1 to 9.
Like I said, I've got all of them. Fuck it, we could watch Buffy episodes. Like, we have no limit.
That's true.
I do not have Homecoming either.
Dare I ask the chat if they want to see full Buffy episodes or a movie?
They're all gonna say Buffy.
Chat says once more with feeling. We are watching once more with feeling.
All right, let's do it. I'm down.
And the reason we're watching this, and I'm going to go ahead and define this right now, is because I watched this today. And
I'm also.
If you've got no sound, it's gonna be. Are we just gonna have to sing it for them? Or...
well, you can sing if you want to.
Every
You
time
nerd.
We stream this
Ha
now,
nailed, got you.
I'll just sing the not
flagged.
embarrassing one. I think Giles is better.
All right, we're watching once more with feeling, and then we are done.
What?
Here we go.
I disagree. You were willing to watch a movie, and now you're only willing to watch a 40-minute episode.
Exactly, a 14-minute episode. That's all I'm willing to watch.
Oh, you spoil sport.
You disappointed. You should at least do 2 episodes. you
Disappointed.
monster.
Where is it? There it is.
All right, we're
we should do.
switching
We
to
should
once more
do.
with feeling. Here we go. Hold on.
We should do. You get a choice. I get a choice. Jack gets a choice, and it's 3 episodes of Buffy.
That's a good plan.
That's like 4 months of content you just described right there.
4 months.
Yeah, exactly.
I demand that you agree to that plan, Ian, because it's very reasonable.
I do not subject myself to your agreements, only to Canadian Mist agreements.
Fine. I
And
demand you
Canadian
agree
Mist,
with Jack's plan.
Canadian
for the
Mist
3 episodes.
says that my cup is gorgeous right now, and I
Wait,
kind of want to
I'm
make
not-
out with it.
Wait, hang on. I'm not Canadian. What? I mean,
Ian, I demand you agree. It's such a great plan because I get to choose my own, he gets to choose his, and you get a silly song episode.
okay.
Who
okay,
Wow. Hey,
Okay, deal, but I'm choosing Seeing Red. No, I'm
No,
not.
God, no.
how dare you? You know what was great was that conversation we had a couple of last night where we were like, "Hey, why don't we make these things slightly less boozy?" These conversations about stuff and things, let's make them slightly less boozy.
You know when
I
you,
think
you, know
I'm
when you
certain
sing
that
along, can you get flagged with your own voice?
Yes, you absolutely can, and we have been.
That's insane.
So on the Bad Decision live streams, we've been flagged for covers. So
Oh my God.
a cover, if you cover Buffy,
So even if you sing it off tune, you could get in trouble.
this episode, from the perspective of YouTuber and all of that, is toxic. If you talk about it, if you look at it, if you hum it, you get flagged. Absolutely. And this stream will be, but who gives a crap? We're hanging out.
Get rid of the rules.
Jam Wild. Once more with feeling. Sweet, pun intended. Here's some liquor money. Spend wisely. I will not, but the box wine will be delicious.
Hang on. Here's some liquor money, spend wisely. You gotta choose one of those. You can't have both.
Exactly, that's what I said. I will not. The box wine will be delicious.
Yeah, but box wine is like $10.
Exactly, Jack.
Oh.
Catch up!
Ian, get rid of the Captain America rules. What are you doing?
Oh,
You're not professional.
what am I, an amateur?
What are you,
Wait, hold on.
An amateur.
An amateur.
Frame video.
I really, you'll make my day if you let us all choose one episode each.
Me too.
Say,
You'll make our day.
I'm so gonna get fired by the end of this.
are you guys streaming with me or watching the stream?
Both.
Yeah, a little from
All of
column
the
A, a
things.
little
I wanna have the go ahead to choose
Hey,
an episode.
hey, Muggles, cool too. Hello, how are you? Haha, you are smashed. Yes, we are. Yes.
I'm actually
are,
only
yes.
half there because.
How dare you, Jack? You had half a bottle of vodka. Drink.
All right, yes, sir.
That's one of the
Fuck
drinking
you.
rules. I'm not drunk.
All right, we're watching Once More with Feeling. I didn't even want to do this.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
Like, let's watch a movie.
Yeah, you were willing to watch a movie, but now you're like, oh, a 40-minute episode. I don't want to do this.
God, Jack, was that a recording you just played of me? That sounded so identical.
As we would say in my neck of the woods, whinge, fucking whinge. Whoops, I swore, sorry. Damn it.
We've been
It's-
doing that like the whole night.
It's a family show, you assholes. Here we go.
I'm sorry.
Count us down, I guess.
All right,
Yeah.
once more with Feeling.
And we can't sing.
No. Here's the problem. I'm gonna sing.
That's fine.
I can't help
still
it.
have my one request you have not approved yet.
I don't know what that request is, but I deny it
Me,
wholeheartedly,
Wow.
immediately.
You don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. How drunk are you, buddy?
Very.
that is cruelty. How could you
We've
do
been discussing it for 15 minutes.
I don't listen to you guys. I'm
Oh,
focusing
believe
on
me,
my
guys,
future.
He
All right,
does not listen to
Ian,
me
I'll make it
ever.
clear, okay? So you've chosen Once More with Feeling.
I didn't choose Once More with Feeling. The audience did.
Okay, you're right.
that's
That means
true.
the audience had one choice, and all three of us get a choice each. As well.
So that works out to about a movie length.
I'd say so. Yeah. You were willing to watch Winter Soldier. Clearly, you can support 4 episodes.
4 episodes after Winter Soldier?
No. Instead,
You
of,
don't have Winter
instead of,
Soldier.
Instead of.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm gonna sing. Here we go. 3,
Okay.
2, 1, play.
I feel like we're gonna have to shut up because if we have 3 voices at the same time, singing is pretty fucked.
And because of the lagginess, it's gonna be all out of sync too.
No, here's the thing. We've streamed this episode 4 times.
Yeah, and it's been flagged every
And
time.
it's been flagged and blocked 4 times.
We
Fox-
probably will be a little bit out of sync, so that means we're gonna have to listen.
Well, sure. Fox has a liquid block on this episode.
mean,
They don't care about the rest.
If we just sing it really badly, they might not flag it.
I touch the fire.
And it freezes me.
Just completely wrong.
Well, we're not a Broadway show. We're not trying to entertain anyone.
Yeah, but You made it sound like these bots are horrifying. Like they'll
The
just touch it.
brainwash,
Oh
the
God,
brainwash, the brainwash flower is stunning. It
We're
is
not trying
so.
to entertain anyone. Never a truer word spoken. My God.
Hey, that's-
The
you know
the
what?
brainwash flower is
simple.
so insane. Like, here's the thing about this episode: is it is peppered with horror.
Well, yeah, this is
That,
this
like,
one
the thing
show
is,
this episode to somebody out of
oh,
exactly.
no, exactly. It is peppered with horror.
Yeah.
There's so many,
And
like,
everybody,
but it
like,
has
says-
songs. It like it's so pretty. It's so gorgeous. Whatever. Yeah, she blanked my mind and then had sex with me.
Yeah, I know. That's like really,
Ah.
when you really think about it. What I was gonna say, you know how like a lot of people will target a character who's usually looked at as good doing a bad action. That's the centerfold of conversation about betraying characters. Forget Flower is one of like the most classic ways to make a good person do a bad thing.
Oh,
that's not
it's
what
so.
well done. It's like that's what Willow would do.
But yeah, I like. That's the thing I wanted to talk with about Mark with this was. The metaphor is rough. The idea that magic is drugs and so on and so forth. So there's been going through the motion.
Going through the motion. I mean, what?
But Willow's character development is so grounded. You've got the lover's walk thing where she was going to perform the spell on Xander, like Wild at Heart, where she was going to perform the spell on Oz and whatever her name is. Like, she is proven to be someone who. I love that shot. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Got a donation.
$20.
Muggle's cool too. $20.
I think that's Swedish crowns. That's my guess.
Probably.
It's a 20 in math terms. Cheers.
Makes sense.
We appreciate the donation so much.
The Willow and Tara outfits are very fairy tale-y by design, right?
That's what I'm assuming.
Well, Tara's especially. I love the bodice. Like,
It's probably a setup
They
just
stand
because it
out
makes
compared to everyone else in their casual clothing, you know.
It probably just makes Tara's song better, I guess.
Tara can sing.
oh, she has a lovely
no,
voice.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying visually, they're in the park and she's
No,
wearing a pretty Snow White dress.
What I'm kind of saying, I made this argument to the person I last watched this with. I was like, I feel like, did you notice that Giles and Tara both have very decent moments of being able to have their singing moments, and someone like Willow barely gets any, and I think that might be tied to the abilities of these people.
No, I know this. Alison Hannigan asked Joss to give her as little singing parts as possible.
No, she was actually scared.
I'm not trying to be mean. Like,
Yeah.
I'm saying it makes sense.
It's true. Yeah, but
that is he found
she
a
went on to
logical.
regret it, though, because she said that
Right here.
she didn't realize the magic they could work with the vocals. You know, like they can make, like, anyone can walk into a recording studio and sound good at the end of the day because they can manipulate it.
All about. Sorry, I can't help it.
No, it's fine. It's just we want to protect you from
No.
Ian, you say you
There
don't
was
care
this-
now, but sober Ian's gonna care. Headphone users, my God.
I'm so sorry, chat. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
That's it. You know, the reboot. I just like my nightmares are just trying to recreate this instead of make something new.
If they do a music,
Oh yeah, I don't want to think about it. Fuck you. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it.
Ian, this is the family show.
Cal, I love you. I don't want to think about it.
No, I understand. Like I said, it's my nightmare.
Like, these streams are my let's have fun evening.
Very well. Let's talk more about how everything is great in this episode.
All right, so let's talk. let's talk about how Buffy is dead inside and how that's reflected in her song. What can't we face? I don't give a shit. What apocalypse? I don't give a shit. We've all been there. The same old trips. I've all been there. She's dead inside. That's her song. It's
of her saying she was in heaven. In one of the last songs. The friend I went through this recently with, that hit him really hard. Willow's reaction to Buffy saying I was in heaven. He like couldn't stop talking about it.
Oh God, it's so. But what I love it.
Watching the following episodes, and he just couldn't stop talking about it. He kept bringing it up. He was like, I can't believe that was happening. Like,
what I love is in this sort of like multi-character song, hers fits perfectly. Which is that she's dead inside and doesn't care. What?
Yeah. Boris says Ian is reading it like Shatner.
Well, that's probably.
That's one of the writers, right? I forget.
Oh, David. No, David. Are you ahead of us? We're at 7:14.
Oh well, no. I probably got a fucking different file size, probably.
Probably. Yeah.
Yes, that's David Fury. Who we might be able to interview.
Marty Noxon is also in it. Marty Noxon is the.
Oh yeah. Marty Noxon's definitely in this. But we might be able to interview them on the channel.
Yes, you shouldn't say that right now. That's under wraps for the time being.
For what Sonic Rule says, I totally understand. But Buffy says she thinks she was in heaven. The show never actually admits that she was in heaven.
It's implied, but...
Yeah, it's almost implied that she went to a dimension that was heavenly, is kind of what they want to go with.
Yeah.
What? Why is the heaven thing a problem?
The problem is bringing in religion, I think.
Yeah.
Don't want to...
Yeah, I mean...
No, not...
complicate.
Is a religious concept, so...
Yeah, which is why within the Buffy lore, if you will, I like the idea. They always say hell dimensions. They never say hell. Well,
right.
Yeah.
Don't they eventually change it to that at the very least? Like I think Spike says it's one of you could have your ice hell, your fire hell, your ice hell.
But I guess heaven dimension doesn't have the same ring to it.
Well, yeah, but it stands to reason, doesn't it? If you have hell dimensions, you would have a heaven dimension, maybe.
That bodice is amazing.
Is there a drink for stupid sexy Tara?
It's very booby.
No, it's not that. It's just beautifully painted. And how did they make teal look good?
Teal is a great color.
No, it's not. Teal is horrible.
Teal racist.
A tealist.
Tealist.
I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about at this stage. I really don't.
I know exactly what they see. They see you.
I'm gonna cop a lot of flack for this, but I don't like Tara's singing voice. I just don't.
I think it's a song.
Maybe
it's in a very high register.
Exactly, very high.
Yeah, that's fine.
What I will say is I adore her and Giles' duet.
Their duet is I watched it earlier today. So I've been doing a Buffy binge and tweeting about it as I go. And when I got to their duet, I teared up.
Oh well, we had this conversation. I think I might have been in chat, but everyone was sharing their favorite song. That's my favorite one for.
I'm sorry, Boris. I'm sorry, Boris.
Context matters, right? Like this song is whatever it is, but like
I would justify it as a personal thing. It's literally it's so quick.
Yeah.
Duet, but there's so much behind it.
But yeah, if you're projecting, I guess, or connecting or whatever it is, that duet is so rich. And what's so funny is, like, Giles' character and his set of conditions and the thing he's dealing with and all of that are very dynamic. And then layer that on Tara's set of concerns and what she's dealing with and all of that. Like, the harmony of their duet emotionally overlays everything they're dealing with. It's so rich. It's so gorgeous. It like.
Oh yeah.
Wait. Hold on. Silence.
Here we go. I know what is. Yeah.
My head was itchy. I'm just this part, very itchy. Hold on. Very itchy. Very itchy.
Are we through?
I bet they're not even working.
Dude, I remember the first watch through of this. I was Dawn, and I was like, "What are they implying?"
Oh, you make me come, please.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah. Literally, I
Thinking
remember
about
my
two witches
child.
doing a spell.
No.
Like, yeah, Tara flew. What's the big deal?
No, I was tweeting about this episode today. There was something I never caught. Like, the layers of sexual innuendo in this episode are crazy. There's so much to it. And one of the ones I didn't catch is so obvious.
Is it complete?
No, I'm not going to point it out until we get there.
Oh, okay.
That's entertainment. Don't, Jack. You are active on Twitter. Don't.
Don't what?
Don't ruin
What do
it.
you mean?
Don't ruin it.
What do you mean? I don't understand. I'm lost. I'm on Twitter. What?
He tweeted out the sexual innuendo he's referring to, and he's concerned
Oh.
that you were aware of it, and he doesn't want you to point it out to me and the audience, I assume?
No, I guess I'm not. But I am going to say that "Rest in Peace" is the best song, without a doubt.
I
don't care what anyone says.
highly disagree. Let's fight.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm
You're
gonna-
freaking wrong. Okay.
I'm not
Why are you yelling at me?
Do you highly rate this song? I don't.
Rest in Peace is the best, hands down.
I like this song. Has a lot of.
I actually kind of think this is one of the best songs in the episode. I'm very surprised you guys don't.
I think
we all respond.
I'll never tell.
Hell's Bells makes me appreciate this more.
Yeah. This song.
I love this song. This is one of my favorite songs in the episode.
And yeah,
Wait. Hold on. Warm in the night when I'm right in her tight embrace. I did not realize that was a.
It got through the senses, really.
I did not realize that was about her vagina until today, and I watched this show 5 years ago.
Wow.
I didn't know. What happened was I was tweeting about it, and people were following, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll do a little like dopey video on the webcam where I'm typing and singing along to this. So I brought up the lyrics, and I looked at the lyrics, and then I saw in her tight ... tight embrace, and I was like, oh, that's about her vagina. Oh.
Wow.
Can I want to make a thing.
Maybe I
The
just got a
comment
dirty
when he opens the fridge, and she makes the comment about the
Skitchy
penis
Jesus?
God diseases from the penis god diseases from
From Pangs, yeah.
Reference to season 4. Do you guys feel this way about Buffy as opposed to many shows where they don't forget their history, like the show feels alive?
I really like that.
It's so good. Well,
these people remember everything that happened, and it's all important.
What's amazing? What's amazing about the show is like it remembers its history, but it's not selective, right? Like when the history occurs, it has an impact. So, for instance, in season 7, when Anya is a demon out of control, suddenly the lie occurs.
Oh God!
The lie occurs, and they have a conversation, and it's like, wait, I never said that.
I hate that. I hate that.
I love that moment.
It's going to open up a major
I
conversation.
hate it. I hate
I
it.
love that moment, Jack.
It's dismissed. No, I hate it because it's dismissed.
Of
so
course it's
easily.
dismissed.
No, but that should be a big deal. Buffy should be pissed.
George's great about this. I agree with both of you.
It-
It's a good moment, but
It should be a big deal to the Scoobies in season 2.
No.
In season 7,
Dude,
in season 7,
she killed the love of her life.
in
Like, what
season
the hell?
7, the world has ended. She has died.
Yeah, but in every season, the world's about to end.
No,
Look,
That
can
means
I,
nothing.
wait, let me get one statement out, and that is this is why I'm on Jack's side a little. Is that if Buffy found out that the message Xander had given her from Willow was a lie, like it wasn't actually what she said, that sounds like the kind of thing Buffy would want to pursue and find out.
Yeah.
no.
And it's a huge
But-
deal. It's not just some small thing.
But she does so in the midst of a conversation where they're deciding whether or not to kill Anya.
Buffy's sidetracked. I'll give you that.
Like the richness of distraction that is
The
in.
one thing I do remember is when Willow says, "I never said that," Xander cuts her off as quickly as he can to carry on the conversation about Anya.
Oh yeah.
He knew what was about to happen if he let that keep going. but he was
Buffy
like,
should
"Let's
have
refocus
been
back to Anya."
pissed. She should have been pissed and been like, what?
I feel like that moment illustrates why Buffy the Vampire Slayer as a show is gorgeous and wonderful and rich and awesome.
Sure.
That one moment is like, oh, like, because that is life. That is life. That moment is life.
But I'm still not backing down. Sure, it's a great moment, I get, but I'm not backing down. It should not have been dismissed as easily as
I
it
agree
was.
with both of you.
It should not have been by the characters in season 2. I agree with you. Those characters are like, how dare you, Xander?
Boris says she should have reacted like Jesse in Breaking Bad when he found out about the rice and cigarette. I totally agree.
I don't remember that point in Breaking Bad, and I don't care, because I'm not talking to Boris.
I think what I would have wanted was Buffy had some form of scene past that episode where she pursued it in some way.
Yeah, I would have been
feel
fine.
like-
fine with
Oh,
that.
yeah, if that moment had echoed beyond that moment, that would have been great. Perfect. I agree.
Totally fine with that, but we didn't
think-
get that, so
I think what
pisses
Jack
me
is
off.
definitely caught up on is that this was one of the most major moments to Buffy was killing Angel in
Yeah.
season 2.
This was
Totally.
one of the most...
That's
No.
He ran away for the entire summer because of it. Like,
This
it
was
a
the
big
most
deal.
major moments to Buffy season 2. The thing is, like...
So?
No.
So
No.
The time doesn't matter. The time.
Time absolutely matters. Buffy is
No.
about time. Buffy is about time. The whole show is...
her first love.
Buffy...
Her first love.
Buffy is about time and how we change over it and how we evolve
So?
and how we grow.
Okay, yeah, Buffy grew and she evolved, but she killed her first love because of a lie. Like, come on.
Well, I absolutely adore the fact that
Hold on.
I'm
Shh.
so much in the
Mute.
right now.
Mute.
Shut up, Switzerland. Shut up, Switzerland. We don't care.
Mute.
Mute? Mute what?
He wants to appreciate this part, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I love this, by the way. This is
Many
great.
years ago. I'm scared I'm about to be fired, so why don't you shut
You're
up?
not. You're
No, but
never.
you're both
How
making me
dare you,
laugh.
Jack? You're never being fired.
I know. It's too late. I know all your secrets.
Like, my conclusion is that the scene is great but flawed, and you guys are like, bad or good, bad, good. This is so much fun.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm listening to James Marsters' "Romance My Butt," and my butt is ready.
I love this line. We're in a dead man's ear. It doesn't make it real.
Jack, you're
Oh, God,
you're so far ahead of me.
I'm sorry.
Jack,
Wait,
I'm at.
no,
I'm at.
why am I apologizing for that? Fuck you.
Jack, I'm at 2042 right now.
I'm at 2042 as well. We must.
We have different files. It's okay.
Yeah. All good.
I'm trying to look at
Let
your screen and
me
see where you
rest
are, but I can't
in
see anything.
I can. Yeah, I can't really. Well, this scene is pretty dark anyway.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
gonna get
dark.
darker when he gets out to the graveyard.
It's so funny how we perceive stuff differently.
No, when I'm not talking.
I love the jazz hands right there. Jazz hands. Let me rest in peace.
Evan's not even paying attention at this point.
I'm paying attention. How dare you?
I'm glad you liked that, Boris. I'm glad you had a good chuckle there. Dark aesthetically, exactly. That's what we were saying.
Well, it's dark, Ian. On your stream, it's pretty dark.
It's very, very dark.
Which is okay. I'm saying that we couldn't tell where you were in relation to us. And then they go into a graveyard, which makes it even darker.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. It's even darker now. Let's have a look at the
You
stream.
guys looking forward to the reboots, Vamp Face being all CGI?
Oh, no. No, it's gonna be, isn't it? It's gonna be. Or they might...
It might be great.
Actually, what's gonna piss me off even more is if they don't have a vamp face.
Genuinely, I'm not even kidding. It might be great. Because I think I can't remember if I pointed out to you guys before, but Season 2 of Angel Episode 1 is probably the best vamp transformation face in the entire 2 shows.
Yeah,
it's
you
when
told me
Angel...
that.
I don't know why, and I think it's because they just piled it into that one to be like, please pick up Angel again. Like, this is Angel Season 1 Episode 2 Episode 1. Please go with this. This is our best. It looks really good.
I can't remember the sequence you're talking about, though.
Well, when we're in a better position, I'll show you. Well, I'll just tell you where to go. But it's when he breaks open the locker, the gym room. He walks through the glass and he goes from human to vamp, and it's a really good transition. And like, I always try and sell it to my friends. It's like, yeah, they've updated the graphics, but none of them ever look as good as that ever again.
I like what Megan said here. Are we sure that the Hellmouth isn't the main character of Buffy, though? I like that.
Ian, you okay?
Ian?
We can see you, Ian.
Wait, is he still in the call?
I could no. Well, yes, we can see him right there. He can hear us. He's just not saying anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry. The season 6 big bad is life. Period.
Yes.
Yes, the season 6, the season 6
Wait,
big
we
bad.
gotta go back to our discussion on season 7. That very important.
I'm not going back to your discussion on whatever. I don't care about you and the merchandise that you represent.
What?
It was me.
Those jackets.
Exactly, you Aussie weirdo and your lovely face.
Wow. Okay, now tell me how you really feel.
Hold on.
Oh wow, Boris just called you out. He said life being a big bag is a cop out.
Oh
yeah, no, he hates that.
I mean, I agree with past Ian. I thought it was depression, not life.
Yeah, I think depression is a better fit for it, but Joss has said life, I think, rather than depression.
Well, I actually think I agree.
So
you argue that everything is a part of life.
Well, yeah, true.
You know, like sex
so
being the
from
main
an
point of season
from an
2.
existentialist perspective, sorry, and this fits with Life Serial, right? Like, existential dread bleeds in from what we do. So in Life Serial, she has that retail job, and it repeats over and over and over and over again. And then she has the job in Burger Madness. What is it?
Double Meat Palace.
Double Meat Palace, right? Like, it's numbing and whatever. Like, the absence is choice. The absence is self-determination.
I always felt that Life Serial's the career one, right, where she tries out like 3 different careers, jobs.
Right.
I always felt like that was a really big commentary on how bad retail careers are.
But it's both. The trio says in the moment, like, Andrew says, why is she doing all this? Like, and Warren says she's lost all focus. She's lost all choice. She's lost self-determination.
Yeah, I follow you.
Right.
But most people in retail would probably feel like I said, I wouldn't call it life. I would want to go more specific.
No, but I'm saying it works as both, right? Like it's
Sure,
Sweet is so
You
amazing.
know how like
He's so
I'm
good.
totally on board with you here, but you know like how season 2's got a lot of sex motifs. You could call it life again,
Right.
because sex is a huge part of life.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by I kind of agree with Boris. Like, you could call it life as any problem you face, because obviously life is about facing problems, I suppose, in a way.
Right.
Facing adversity. All these melodies.
He's
I'm
so
probably ahead of
good.
Yeah, I love him. He's awesome.
So
I
good.
thought they were gonna have him pop up in Angel. I was just like, why not?
That
Just
that
bring him
would have been
over.
great. Like have him at Caritas or something.
The distinction
Oh,
is the
Imagine
distinction.
him and Lorne meeting.
That would have been amazing.
Lorne, did he? Who did you ship outside of Angel and Buffy? Lorne and him.
Don't need to ship them. Just have them sing together.
Those two, I ship them all day long and all day strong. No, yeah, we were talking about something a minute ago.
What? I'm concerned we won't be able to get another episode out of Ian.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to. Ian, are you okay?
I am. I'm. There's something Cal said a minute ago, and I was like,
Oh, okay.
About life, or
yes, about life. There was something you said a minute ago, and I was like, no, wait, no, but that's not. I'm wiping it out. I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of my favorite episode.
Is this
This is
your
your favorite
favorite episode?
No, it's not. You nerds! How dare you!
this is funny because I don't think I have a favorite episode. 'cause there's too
Yeah,
many good
I
ones.
was. Funnily enough, I was thinking about this just the other day. I don't think I can pick a favorite episode. I really can't.
I think if I was forced to, and I would just have to try my best to reason it out, it would probably be the finale for Angel, and I would just talk forever.
What-
about how
what's-
it's
what's-
Yeah,
everything
but we're
that came
talking
before.
Buffy though.
What's
We're
the
talking Buffy.
no? What's the episode where Spike tells Buffy why Slayers die?
That's Oh, I know this.
I know this as well. I guarantee
What
you
is
Boris will
it?
get it before me and you.
Yeah.
Well,
tell me.
absolutely, Boris will. That's the weird, intimidating thing about Boris.
Let's,
It's
let's
not
just wait
Crush.
for Boris. Boris says he might pick Becoming Part 2, The Body, or Once More
Oh.
We're Feeling or Restless.
It's not. It's Fool for Love.
Fool for Love.
Fool for love. There we are.
Oh, he's already got it.
Yes, yes.
Season 3, Episode 7. He knows it to its
What?
T.
No. That's Lover's Walk.
No. Lover's Walk is different.
Oh,
Lover's Walk
season.
is season 3.
Oh yeah. Season 5, Episode 7.
Also, I love
Sorry.
this song for more than just the song itself, but his voice is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I want him to sing me to sleep, and I mean that 100%. I'm not being ironic. I would love for him to just serenade me.
What do you mean ironic? Like, why would that be?
Well, no, because some people say things in like a hyperbolic way, but I literally want him to sing me to sleep, like literally.
Yeah,
This
it's kind of-
this might be my least favorite song from the whole thing.
What?
Wait, yeah,
What?
wait. He's just what's the reasoning there?
Because all the other songs are so good.
But
Oh, that's not.
Well-
Try again.
I guess no. I'm thinking about your background and your upbringing. Your dad was, a classical musician, wasn't he? And
No, emotionally, I understand all of it. I'm just saying, until Tara comes in and they start harmonizing.
Kicks ass anyway.
No, once Tara comes, I'm not. That's the amazing part of this is how you end up like, I'm shitting on this song and all the people who care about it.
To give a reason, and all you said.
No. That I think that's fascinating, kind of lovely.
Honestly, this is probably my second favorite, next to Rest in Peace.
Yeah, no, yeah. This one
Yeah,
just
no.
doesn't. This one just doesn't resonate with me.
But his voice is so good.
Of course.
Giles is
He-
decision.
he-
Not like this.
Yeah.
It's
like,
not
yeah,
the
like,
lyric. It's not the lyrics. you lovely gentleman. You're not getting my heart tonight. How dare you?
He's just like, I know I'm your father figure, but I have to.
Yes,
go,
of course. I love the emotional aspect of the song.
Look, Ian, I'll make this really simple for you. You just chose that song over Dawn's song.
No, I didn't, because Dawn doesn't have a song. She has a line. She has a line. Dawn has a line.
You chose his song over Giles'. It's done. It's official.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Did you just say something?
Boris says, I think I can choose more favorite Angel episodes than Buffy episodes. Me too, probably.
Yeah, all of season 5.
Yeah, but
Aside from like 2 episodes.
I love. That's a gorgeous shot right there. The lighting.
See, I like her voice here, but not in the first song.
Well, I mean,
I don't love either of those first songs. I don't love Giles' song. I don't love her song. But
well, you're a
this,
bad man.
but this harmony, this is amazing.
And Walk Through the Fire is a great song too. Stop yelling at me. Ow, that hurts.
You're really painfully stop doing that.
Rest in peace. Hey, pun. Sorry.
Now this
This is a
this
great
all
song.
this all feels mechanical to me right at this point. Like I'm not hooked emotionally
Okay.
Dude,
until
I'm hooked the second she realizes she was under a spell.
well, yeah, actually I lied.
What the fuck?
Oh, so good.
Now it's so good. All right.
Yeah, that was all amazing.
Okay. I'm glad you agree now. You're on the right track.
Gushing over my favorite song, so I'm cool with it.
So
I like just how season 6 falls apart, however, because it starts out that everyone's really strong and together, and by the end it's all over the place.
Megan says this stream is beginning to give off chaotic neutral vibes. That's so true.
So is it weird being that voice actor too, where you're like, my master has the Slayer involved in the thing?
Okay, English is a thing, and we all appreciate its use. Ian, and you're being
Yeah.
very rude to English right now.
Yeah, how dare you? Wait, what? Wait, I'm Aussie. I don't care.
Oh, I just mean, when words are put one after each other, and it makes a sentence.
Oh,
Ian's
yes,
betraying that standard.
But it's understandable.
No, I don't. Yeah, very.
So this I'm rewatching season 6, right? And so when I watch stuff from the point of view of I'm gonna review it. Like we're talking about it. Like it's a critical eye. It's not a I don't know. Whatever.
Go on.
Right? So this is important. This scene is so important. Fine. Dance till you're born. So Spike said, let me rest in peace. And she said, Like
I hope
this
she
this
dies.
whole
Right.
exchange, this whole exchange is so important.
I
Your
had to
best.
help her out.
Jack, let him, you know, do his thing.
The richness of the lyrics are self-explanatory.
I really love this song too.
She's dead inside. I touch the fire, it freezes me. I have no meaning, I have no purpose, I have no...
Yep. My skin should crack and peel.
It's
See, this is what I
so
mean about the
gorgeous. It's
The
so
most impactful
gorgeous.
shit about season 6 doesn't, for me, until you might be able to prove me wrong on this, but like I feel like the most impactful hits of season 6 don't get screwed up by its flaws. And I
agree
mean in a
with that.
correlative. I don't mean the bad stuff doesn't outweigh the good. I'm talking about their relative position. Like, does the setup for all the payoffs actually, is it consistent or is it not? For me, it was. I wouldn't mind hearing if it isn't though.
It's as good as season 2 or season 3.
I want to
Season
have
2
that
is my
conversation.
second
Let me know about the flaws because I'm up for that.
The torture bears. He's so gross and awesome at the same time. Free if that bitch dies.
I'm free if that bitch dies. I
She
better
will
help her
walk.
out.
Completely out of sync.
We're fucking
God, I
singing
relate
now,
to
you nerds. Here we go. And we're out of sync because we're out of sync.
Walk
Don't
through the fire.
Fire and I'm out of sync.
in danger. As my slayer to walk on to
Is my
here.
slayer too far gone to care?
Good God.
Beady eyes is right where needed.
Jack, you're behind us.
What?
This is what I always meant to do. So we will walk through the fire.
Through the fire.
Talk to me.
I agree, Megan. The only thing I really like about season 7 is the Spike stuff. The rest of it's dull and boring and just crap.
And then I'll save her, then I'll kill her. I think this line's mostly filler.
These endless days are...
That's a... Oh, God, that composition. I need to make a video review of this.
You will eventually. I mean, eventually.
Eventually. Showtime.
Showtime!
It's weird the level that I relate to her depression.
No.
And so that's the thing is like when it comes to depression, your propensity to invalidate your connection to the person is very high.
Is everybody okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
I
good.
went to go to the toilet. I didn't want to.
Oh. Okay.
Is everybody very into watching it now?
We're in the most important part of Once More with Feeling. How dare you, Cal?
True.
No, it's rest in peace. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I actually think the most significant thing in this episode is the kiss.
Look at Megan with how did Spike get lost in a town he's lived in for so long? It's like, true.
That's a good
I think there are multiple layers of importance to this. First of all, she didn't want to reveal her depression to her friends,
Yep.
and being the Slayer required her to.
Well, I think it was because she felt that she should have been grateful for coming back. I guess.
Well, whatever her feelings, the singing demon required that she reveal that to them.
Are you saying that trying to defeat the villain of the week caused her to reveal the truth that she wanted to keep?
The arc. God, this is so gorgeous.
Episode, right? Every character gives away something they didn't really want to.
Well, no, and that's Joss's whole thesis about musicals, is that you can only sing the truth.
Hey, the strand of hair in front of her face, she shakes it off, and in the next shot, it's back.
So.
No, I'm just saying I noticed it. That's all.
I like just to think about some of the lines where life's a song you can't rehearse, and every verse can make it that much worse. It's like you can think about it for a while of what that means.
I do love she needs a backup. Anya.
Yeah.
Go. And the two of them jump into dance backup. Here we go. Shh, shh.
Okay, stop doing that. Ow.
You nerds. Shh.
Ow. We talk? So
Yes.
So again, bringing back the whole friend couldn't stop talking about the whole Willow reaction. The reason I think that he did was because he noticed quite heavily. You know, the Willow gets a little bit cocky at the beginning of the season, as in like, I just brought back Buffy. I've not only done a great deed.
There's no reason for you to piss me off.
Yeah, and she gets really ahead of herself. She's like, not only thinks she's done a good deed, but that she's underappreciated for it. How much of a taking the floor away from her is this? Like, it knocks her down completely.
And you can see it on her face too.
Not only should she not be appreciated, she did a bad thing, not a good thing. It's great.
God, I love James Masters. My God.
Why'd you go bury him?
I would if I could.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't even like dudes, but yep. Here we are.
I like dudes. Dudes are cool. You watch Civil War with dudes.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not, into that. But I am now.
I was gonna say, what do you mean you're not into watching Civil War with dudes? You totally did that today.
God damn,
The hardest thing in this world is to live in it.
What a cop-out statement. Everything you do involves living in this world.
How dare you, you nerd!
No, that was me.
We're done. Yeah, get off the stream. You were dead to me.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm quite alive.
Oh, you guys. You're a thief.
It's interesting that the arc of her stealing goes across a season. Like, you'd think it would have been...
It's not very developed. It's not very good.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. It's like, it wasn't set up and paid off for one season, which is what you would assume. It's set up in one, paid off in the other, but it's still not even that significant. So you wonder what they were going for.
Yeah, I feel like that's just Dawn in general.
Well, no, I get the idea of the unrecognized teenager. I think
Yeah, she
that's
wants
what they were
attention.
going for. Yeah, exactly.
I quite like the reveal because Anya goes like at her wit's end, she finds out that Dawn's stealing from her as well. You know, being the ex-demon, unable to understand human customs, has to
Yeah.
punish a human for stealing from her in a correct civil way. It's quite interesting.
Rather than just, you know, burning her alive or something.
Yeah, like she's right to punish Dawn in that scenario.
Yeah.
So what you've been concealing. Say you're happy now. Once more with feeling. That line is so rich and gorgeous.
Yeah, it really is. Sweet's amazing.
Oh, I love it.
You know what? The CG kind of looked okay there. Kind of.
Like I said, I accept the CG.
Where do we go?
Bad at Buffy, but just, you know, it bothers you as much as it bothers you.
Well, like, it bothers me in Doctor Who, because in Doctor Who it's so bad, and Doctor Who's more recent.
Well, I would argue, and this is being a little bit cynical, but I feel like the CGI and special effects in Buffy support the story and characters, while in Doctor Who,
Battle's done.
episodes
Yeah.
rely on the special effects. Because it's
Yeah.
like, what have we got this time? I don't know, alien called phlogism, and they suck on your face until you turn into a brick. So you better make all that look good.
Unclear.
I do like Spike just getting bored.
Yeah, it's just like,
Not
screw
yet.
it, I'm
Not
out.
quite.
It's so good though. It's just like, screw it up.
Tell me from here. Saw this.
That conversation in chat. The CGI gets better in the later years of Doctor Who. Too bad the show got worse.
Oh wow, you're gonna be hearing about that.
I agree though. I love the Russell T Davies era of Doctor Who a lot more
Get
than
you-
the Moffat one.
Get your kumbayas out.
What?
Was that English?
Get your kumbayas out.
Oh, I thought you said something about chicken. I'm like, what?
I wonder how many people interpreted this ending scene as them falling in love,
Probably a
opposed to
lot.
what the show takes it as.
The thing is, like, all of her songs are about suffering. All of her songs are about suffering and loneliness. So someone who
makes sense.
perceived this as a happy ending missed the goddamn point.
A lot of people consider this to be like a big moment,
Hey man,
It is a big moment. It's a very important moment.
people can take the text.
But like Spuffy shippers love it.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe I just said Spuffy. My God.
Yeah, but
Oh,
the thing,
God.
yeah, but the, Joss Whedon was on like, you know, quote saying that he preferred Buffy with Spike than Buffy with Angel.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm assuming he's referring to Ensouled Spike, which is kind of where I'm at too.
Yeah.
All right, gents, I'm going to go to bed.
Alrighty. G lads, GG.
So, we should say,
Same again tomorrow, cool.
Yeah, alright.
yes, we'll get up and stream and chat the rest of this evening.
Also, you both need to get every MCU movie, please.
Yeah, alright. I'll work on that because
Get
we
on that.
should. Yeah. We're gonna do some rebranding, thinking stuff, and yeah, we'll get on top of that.
So, thanks for joining us, everybody. Ian will
Yeah,
figure out how
thanks,
to press end
guys.
stream eventually.
Yeah, thanks for coming, and we'll see you next time.
All right, good night, everyone. I had a good time.
Mm-hmm. We watched Civil War. I'm happy.
It's been a long time coming.
True. We will get more of these, right? Once you've moved on to the YouTube world, more so.
Yes.
Excellent.
Just waiting.